Join us live on episode 21 of SSC Podcast as we talk the July Stadia Connect just around the corner. New tinfoil hat theories of CyberPunk 2077, courtesy of your boy MM2K. Stadia game announcements, another stealth drop of information today, and a lot more with the homies Project Storm and your homeboy Stadia Revolution. Let's get into it.
Not sorry. Stay sick cause I follow my gut. They say I was pushing my luck. I'ma push me a matte all black truck. Oh, I'm not sorry.
Uh-oh, I need to get rid of that. Bada boom! What's up, people? It's your boy MM2K back again with another episode of the Stadia Stream Connect podcast. I'm very excited for this one because I got two great guys within the Stadia community here with me. And these brothers know their stuff. They create great content. They deserve what they have. They really deserve a lot more. So they're going to be here today to share some of their wisdom rather with you and talk through some of the gaming subjects that we have that are Stadia related, and actually to help MM2K through his tinfoil hat moment, and all the other good stuff. But with that said, because one of these good brothers ain't got much time with us, so we got to enjoy him while we can. So first and foremost, let me add my good brother, Stadia Revolution on the scene. What's up, Stadia Revolution? The Rev, what's going on, brother?
Yo, what's good, man? Glad to be back on the show. What's happening?
Hey, I appreciate having you, man.
Everybody that's checking it out right now.
That's what's up, man. And yeah, everybody that is checking out, definitely tweet this out. Let everybody know that we are live. Yeah, but my good brother Rev out here, man, heating it up in these Twitter streets, man. That's what I'm talking about. That's that good stuff, man. And then also, we can't forget the homie Project Storm. What is going on, Storm? How you doing, good brother?
Man, you already know. Ready for July 14th, like everybody else. That's all. That's all I'm thinking about right now. But life is good. Gaming is good. Hey, that's what it is.
It'll be a lot better when I can find the background that I want to use. Okay, there we go. That's the one I think I want to use.
Yeah.
Hey, get it right. Get it right on
exactly.
I will. Work in progress.
Hey, right.
Hey, yo, people think that doing these podcasts and stuff like that is a cakewalk. It's a piece of cake. And I wish it was that way, but it's not always the case. With that being said, thank you, my friends, for being here today. This is going to be a great episode of the Stadia Stream Connect podcast. Like I said, our good brother Stadia Rev, he doesn't have much time with us. So, we'll get into it. Let's do this first because I got to do this. First and foremost, and we'll start with Rev. Rev, what have you been playing? What are the games that you've been into this week?
Shoot, man, I've been playing Monster Boy mostly.
Yeah.
I just got caught up in that game, man. I was trying to play. I haven't even had a chance to touch West of Loathing yet, and a couple of other games just because Monster Boy just drew me in. I've been wanting to get on Crater. I checked it out for a minute and then went right back to Monster Boy because I'm really into that game for whatever reason. It remind me them old school side scrollers and stuff, from back in the day, and just I guess it's just a nostalgia hit. But that's what I've been playing.
That's been your main focus. That's what's up. Hey, that Monster Boy has captured my soul. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't not gonna lie. Hey, Storm, what you been getting into, good brother?
Hey, look, man, I tell you this, man. I have my hands in several pots, but when it comes to gaming, I played that Monster Boy, loving it. I only played the first level, completed the first boss. But I could tell you right now, that's something that I'm on it. I'm on it real heavy, y'all. But what's really consuming my time, taking all my time, man, just taking all my damn time. It's so bad right now with this game that I had to write a schedule down. I had to make sure I take breaks to go out there and play with my son and make sure everything's good. Make sure he's reading and everything. I had to write a damn schedule down. You know what I mean? So it's Crater, man. Yes. Crater.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I saw what you were building on that thing, man. It's pretty dope.
I appreciate that, Rev. You should see it now, bro. Just from yesterday to today. And Bibbidi Bop, man, shout out to the chat. You know what's up, chat. Hey, Bibbidi Bop, man, I was trying to invite him to my world, man. Bibbidi, I've been trying to get him over there to play test my level and everything, man. I think when people see what I've created on that game, man, they might be all right. I'm gonna just keep it short right there because I got more coming when it comes to that Crater, and then I'm gonna publish that bad boy hopefully today.
That's what's up.
Yeah, man.
So it's been everybody's been on Crata. Like my son was part of the Andy Morrison. Shout out to him, man. He was part of the whole 48-hour Crata thing. I haven't had a chance to even touch it yet because I know I played RPG Maker. If y'all remember that way back in the day,
Yeah.
my aspiring days to make an RPG game, and it's so involved. And I was like, I don't have 2 hours to build, not at this moment. So because of that, I haven't really like hopped into it yet, but I definitely will. With that said, man, everybody's loving Crata, man. What do you got? Have you had time with Crata at all, Rev? Have you spent any time with it yet?
Nah, man. I just spent a few minutes with it. I was trying to just check out a game, but I wound up not being able to get into it as fast as I thought I was going to be able to, and I just went back to playing Monster Boy. But I'm going to get some time in with it, definitely, because I've been checking out what other people have been building in it, and I'm really excited to see what they got. So I want to try and play some of those games too.
Hey, look, I can't blame you, brother. I know you want to get in the Crata, you want to have time to do it, and I completely understand. Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. All right. So with that said, that's everybody's gaming week. I'm not going to make this about me because, again, my good brother Stadia Rev, he doesn't have so much time with us, so we definitely want to get the juicy topics out to him before he has to roll. So,
Yeah.
Juicy topic number one. I didn't even get to add this to the show notes, guys, but it's something that I got later in the show. But while we got you, Rev, I'd like to get your thoughts on it. Oh, that's not it. Breaking news: Celeste is coming to Stadia. So let me just do a precursor for this and get everyone's thoughts on this one. Celeste, the award-winning game from I forgot who the maker is, but didn't that win Game of the Year in like 2018 or something like that, or was nominated for Game of the Year?
I'm not sure. It's really critically acclaimed. I know that.
Absolutely. And see, I'm one of those people to where even though Celeste may not be the first thing that I hop on, because our lineup, and people may call this damage control, is leaner and meaner. Like we don't just have like a junket of games. I'm not one of those gamers that play everything, so we don't have a junket of games. So I can spend more time with games than I normally would. Like, for instance, the aforementioned Monster Boy. I wouldn't have played that if it wasn't for Stadia. You know what I'm saying? And now that I've given that attention, I see how much of a gem this game is. And you talk about this a lot, Rev. Even though this is an older title, how big do you think this is coming to the platform?
From what I can see, just by the reactions from the community, it's a big deal. It's a really big deal. A lot of people are, just from what I've seen, it's been a lot of positive feedback just in the initial reactions of that game being announced and soon coming to the platform. People have just been really excited and really enthusiastic. So I see it as a pretty big deal. And just going by the tweets and the feedback, I think it's probably going to do well once it does hit the store.
Cool. What are your thoughts, Storm? How big of a deal is this, or do you even care that this is coming to the platform?
Hey, look, man. With the backlog I have, I could tell you right now, I have to put this on the in order behind Lost Words and all those games I still need to knock out because it's only fair to those devs who work hard on these games, man. And I feel like a dev now, y'all, with this creator stuff. Like I feel like I can get in here and make a game that might be a fraction of Celeste or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just excited about that. The fact that, we have these opportunities now to think like the developers and see how much hard work they put into the games. So I just watched the trailer and they had an I Can't Breathe reference in the damn trailer, bro. Like I love it. I love that. I mean, come on now. So I like it. I bring on the games no matter what they are, indie, AAA, first party, second party. It doesn't damn matter. Let's get these games out here so we can enjoy more gamers and get these enjoy the games, get gamers up in here. That's all.
Yes, sir.
What's up? Now, what do you guys know about this El Higio? I've never heard of this game. It's probably a good game because, like I said, one thing that we can't say about Stadia is that out of the 60 plus games that are on there now, and I'll get into that now. There's a reason why I brought that number up. I'm in my bag today. I brought that number up for a reason. But for the 60 plus games that are on there, y'all, there's probably only one or two games that I've heard people be somewhat like, nah, they weren't like fully negative on it, but they were like, nah, I really can't dig it. But in general, the populace loves pretty much every single game on there. But has any of you, and I'll start with you, Rev, has anybody heard of this El Hijo or looked at it at all or have any interest in it?
I don't know.
I checked it out. And it looks like something that a lot of, again, like a Lost Words, and if you like those types of games with that type of graphical aesthetic and everything, that type of art style and all that stuff and vision, I think people are going to like it. You know what I'm saying? It's a game that I had to get into because I didn't think I was going to like West of Loathing, but guess what? Yeah. Love it. Love West of Loathing.
Yeah.
So we got a little trailer. Go ahead. Go ahead, Rev. While you're talking, I'm gonna play this little trailer here.
Yeah, look, I watched the trailer. He's playing it right now, and it looked interesting. I like the graphics on it. In that and the Celeste, with the 8-bit sprite-based graphics is pretty interesting. But this one is a little bit more graphically polished, and I like the idea of the stealth action that the game has. So it, I don't know. It looked like it may be something I can get into. Just as like a pastime game to play when you don't really have anything else to do. But it also looked like one of those games that'll just draw you in once you get started playing it. So, I'm kind of on the fence about it. I'm not like excited but I don't have like a negative opinion about it either way. So we'll see what happens. I mean, this could be one of those, both of these games could be one of those games that'll just be pro games when they come out. And,
gotcha.
So we'll most likely get a chance to play them when they do hit the store.
Absolutely.
Since these games are older, I can't see them, doing them any other way than what they've done with the other indie games like these. So.
Yep. No, absolutely, totally agree. I think those are great assessments. Thinking the same thing, and even though they're older, what we find is even with the older titles, they become Stadia Pro games. I thought it was rather, just real quick before we get some thoughts from the chat and move on to the next subject matter. I thought it was real interesting that, we saw Celeste, particularly in the ESRB. We didn't see that other game, or maybe it was there and we didn't think about it or care about it. I don't know. But we saw Celeste in ESRB. Yeah. And everybody hopped on it. And then after everybody hopped on it, they were like, but that doesn't mean that it's not coming, or don't expect it to come soon. And 2 days after it was rated, it was there.
They just drop it look, this is happening.
Yeah, Your thoughts first, Red. What do you think about that?
I think we can pretty much go by what the ESRB is doing, because a lot of these games that we're seeing coming to the platform are not necessarily being announced by Stadia initially, but they're popping up in the ESRB site being rated for the platform. And then, like we just said, with this, a few days later or a couple weeks later, that game is announced. And so I think that's a good barometer to see what's coming in the future, because it's been a good litmus test for the most part to let you know what's happening. And I think the people that were saying, "Oh, that don't mean it's coming," just I think they just have have their own minds made up when it comes to what they think is coming and what's not. So when something goes against that, it's like, oh, well, it's hard to accept it. If it's yeah, but this is happening. So I'll just say, if it's being rated by the ESRB that's coming to this platform, you could pretty much bank on it that's a true fact.
I get you, Rev, and I'm gonna get to you in a second, Storm. But maybe you can answer both questions. What do you think about the ESRB thing, and then answer this. And Rev, you in that infamous thread that you had earlier today, which I think was fantastic. You hit to this all the time. People seem to be Debbie Downers when it comes to Stadia. When things hit ESRB, even though there's not really let's be clear, there's an ESRB watch for Stadia, because again, Stadia likes to stealth drop stuff and people want to know when games are coming. Fine, not a problem. We get it. But with that being said, whenever we see an ESRB for another game or another game system, we never say, "Oh, don't expect that not to come." You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of confused about that. What are your thoughts on that, real quick, Rev, and then we'll bounce it to Storm.
See, my thing is, it's not that I don't like to, be negative about things or anything like that. It's the fact that we have to. I feel like we have to let go of certain things that's happened already. You know, it's like, yeah, we know the launch wasn't as great as it could have been. We know that there are certain things that's happened communication wise that, you know, wasn't the greatest at a particular point in time. But I feel like we can't keep harping on that. We have to see where we are with the platform as it is right now, and then what's going forward. You know, and I'm just excited about that. You know, I have a really optimistic outlook on what's happening. I can't sit there and be like, well, I don't expect this, I don't expect that. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily get my hopes up or hopes tied into one particular game or a couple of particular games that if they don't come to the platform, then the platform is no good. You know, I just feel like certain things are going to happen when they happen, and when they do happen, we just got to be, you know, be ready for it when it does. And so I don't like to get caught up in that. I just like, okay, like like this connect coming up, because I got about 10 minutes left. So like with this new connect coming up, right? We were talking about that and what we kind of expect and what we shouldn't expect and blah blah blah. My thing is I have absolutely zero expectations. You know, I'm just excited for it. And I want to see what they're gonna bring. I don't want to sit there and say, oh, if they don't get Apex, then oh man, this is bad. If they don't get Fortnite, oh my god, it's terrible. You know, I mean, look, this connect is going to be a big deal, right? Because they even made it seem like that from back in April. But the last connect that connect in April was just a precursor. It was just a preview. Talking about the games, they had the update yesterday talking about there's going to be some surprises, there's going to be some things happening, blah blah blah. So they're going to have the general gaming public eyes on them tomorrow.
Yep.
And they prepared for that. Google didn't get this far, you know, being stupid. You know what I'm saying? I mean, when we first knew about Google, they were just a search engine and that's it. And here we are talking about cloud gaming, you know, gaming through a platform that they provided. So they know what they're doing. They have people in charge that know what they're doing. So I expect them to come and knock it out the park tomorrow. I mean, next week, you know, because they knocked it out the park last time. And I think they learn the lessons and righted the ship when it comes to those type of things. And so we're going to see a little bit more of that going forward. I'm just excited about it, and I have an optimistic point of view about it. And that's just me. I can't sit there and just focus on the negative about certain things all the time, because it just gets tedious. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. I got you. No, that's a great point, because I think it's good to strike a balance. Hey, Storm, let's do this, because I got here in the show notes that we're going to talk about Celeste anyway. So for the sake of my brother Storm, Project. Jesus.
Yeah.
For the sake of Rev, Project Rev, you know what I'm saying? For the sake of Rev's time, let's just hop to July Connect, and then we can talk about Celeste a little bit. We got some of Rev's thoughts, man. What do you think about this Connect? How important is it being part of Summer Game Fest and all that stuff? How big of a deal is that to you? Do you think that people like me, the Debbie Downers, do you think people like me may just be undercutting this a little bit too much by not putting enough emphasis on it? Because Rev brings up a good point. What are your thoughts on that?
I think Rev hit it right on the head in several areas, if not all. My thing is we're already over here, and to keep it real brief, like if we're talking about the unsuspecting gamers and all that, and the people who are now jumping on board, because I pay attention to YouTube, like the Stadia channel, where I'm looking at that sub number, that those views and everything that the Stadia channel is getting. There's a lot of interest now, you know what I mean, in this platform. People may not think that, but when you go out there and do your homework, you see that it's a bigger deal than people might give it credit for being. So with that said, yes, have a freedom of speech. You know what I mean? Speak your mind. It helps the platform, but at the same time, we just got to keep in mind that if Apex does not get announced, which I highly think it will, if something like that does not happen, for example, or they don't announce a new controller, or they don't give us 4 free games in August, or whatever the case might be, there's no need to have a fit. You know what I mean? There's no need to panic. Just take what they give us with a grain of salt. I know that there's something big coming because I know that they're going to be competitive with Amazon. They're going to be competitive with xCloud. They have to be. And I know these consoles are coming in the fall. We all know this. So I think they're brewing up something, some stealth drops included and all that. I think we're going to be good, man. I think we're going to be very excited to see what they have. And if it is, say, and so in my crosshair said it. He's learned to temper his expectations. I've learned that from day one. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna keep it like that, man, because Rev don't have that many minutes left.
So
about 5.
5 minutes.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
okay, all right. So let's throw this your way, Rev, and see, and if we can squeeze another one in, great. You said you have no predictions. You don't expect to see anything, which I think is a good assessment. Do you think they need like a mic drop moment though, and do you expect to see one?
Oh yeah, I think they need a mic drop moment. I think they do. Don't get me wrong on that end. I firmly believe that they do need a mic drop moment because, like I said before, they're going to have the general gaming public's eyes on them. So that would be the perfect time to have that mic drop moment. Now, what that would be, I don't know. It could be a game, could be a feature, could be something that we have never even thought of before, which they did last time. So I could pretty much guarantee that there's going to be something like that. Now, could that be a bunch of game announcements that they're going to have that may be dropping like right that day, or within a week or within a couple months or so? I think that they're going to have to really just show what they got this particular time, because this is the biggest audience that they're going to have, capture audience, and it's going to be important for them to make sure that they're positioning themselves to be a major player, and I think they're going to do that.
Okay, so you're saying that you're not, without naming anything specific, you do think that they got something brewing in the kitchen where they're like,
so.
hey,
I think so.
Hey.
Because let me say this, because then I'm gonna have to go in a minute. If you look at all of the games that's been announced, all the features that they put out in the last not even in the last like 3 months, but in the last month and a half that they've added to this platform already. So it's like if they're having these games being announced and coming out and dropping in the store and everything, the features are rolling out. Those are things that they're not announcing at the Connect, right? So what are they gonna do? Because if those are things that people are excited about and they're announced and they're coming out and being announced already, then that means they got something bigger coming down the pipeline, and that's why they've been quiet about certain things, and not giving away too many details on other stuff. Like all of this stuff that we're getting now, I think is just small stuff in preparation to the 14th when they drop whatever big stuff that they're gonna do to get people excited.
Quick question, because I know you got to go. Quick question: do you think that Stadia 2.0 will be mentioned and officially marketed here at this Connect? What are your thoughts on that?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Because I don't think Stadia 2.0 was even supposed to be like even brought up until that dev brought that up.
Okay.
I think that was going to be something that they were going to save for later, and I still believe that. But that's not to say that they won't do it. I'm saying I just don't think that they will. I think that it's going to be more about improving what it is now, and then setting the stage for the next few months. Because I think if they're going to do a 2.0 version whenever Gen 2 or whatever they're going to call it comes out, I think that's going to be sometime next year, probably sometime this time next year. But I could be wrong on that.
I got you. No. Great. No.
But yeah,
great perspective,
it's my time though. I got to run. Shouts out to Project Storm. Shouts out to M2K. Shouts out to the chat. Everybody that joined in. I really do appreciate you guys. I'm going to be watching, but I got to get back on the clock.
And Rev, we got to wrap. So when you get a free moment, brother, just let me know, man. I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, it's all good. No worries.
Yeah, be easy, Rev.
Hey, have a good one, man. Thank you so much, man.
Yep. Like I said, I'll be watching.
Got you.
All right.
And check out Stadia Revolution's channel. We'll drop a link here in the chat for all of you guys. The brother does fantastic content all the time. You know what I mean? Storm's there on the channel, you know what I mean? And
That's right.
I need to be there more, and I will be. So
Yeah.
definitely, you know, he said, oh, hell yeah.
Yep.
He said, no doubt. Yeah, I will be there, brother. So, you know, definitely check out my brother Stadia Rev's channel.
Feel like y'all done forgot about it, but now I'm playing.
Nothing never happened.
Hey, you know, I forget about my own shows. I forgot. I was like, oh, I got to do a show today. I'm like, no, forget
it. Exactly. I gotta do a live stream. Just doing a chat like this, and I want to have a lot of you guys on so we can just have a big community conversation, because we can have more people on this thing now.
Oh yeah,
exactly.
From what I saw, and I'm like, 10 people, let's do it.
Let's do it, man. So that's why I said we gonna talk. Hey, brother, we gonna talk. We definitely.
Oh yeah, got some ideas brewing.
We got some ideas brewing, man. We gonna talk.
If y'all know where to find me, hit me up on anything.
All right, definitely, man. Hey, but have a great day, man. Keep busting it out, man. Do what you got to do, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So Storm.
Yep.
Your thoughts, man. You know, like I said, we'll jump to Celeste in a little bit, but for this Stadia Connect, I want to read what's here from Google 9 to 5, because I know you've been brewing. I know you chomping at the bit, brother, to let us know, give us some of that Project Storm knowledge. But I want to read a little bit, an excerpt from 9 to 5 Google, and then break down the same questions that we asked Rev to you. Okay, so the article from Kyle Bradshaw at 9 to 5 Google reads: Google announces next Stadia Connect that will take place on July 14th. Stadia Connect, 7/14/20. The next Stadia Connect event, where Google will share the latest features and games coming soon to Stadia, has now taken place next month. In the lead up to the launch, the company held a few Stadia Connects in the Nintendo Direct format, blah, 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 blah. It says, to give this event greater visibility, Google is partnering with Jeff Keighley. So let's put a place mark on that, because I want to get your thoughts on that. Jeff Keighley Summers Game Fest to co-host the July Stadia Connect on their own website. While Google's own teaser only mentions games that will release later this year, the Summer Game Fest tweet especially tells us expect a few surprises. And then lastly, I like this part from 9 to 5 Google. Considering what we've already seen, some impressive changes to Google Stadia in recent days, such as experimental support for all Android phones, which basically makes Stadia playable on all Android phones now. We're excited to see what surprises the Stadia Connect has in store. We're also hopeful that Google takes note from impressive lineup of games that made Sony's recent PlayStation 5 event so exciting. So, with all that said, my good brother, I want to get your thoughts. How important is this? No, I mean, you know where to just. I'm going to go ahead, brother. This is about you.
Yeah, man. So, all right. So, I think, going back, I'm gonna just touch on a couple things. I know you hinted at. Jeff Keighley being the first one. The brother's been around the industry for a long time. It's cool that he was able to rope in as many devs and publishers and everybody that he could. So for all of them to be a part of that, I think that's cool. It's a good look for him. You know what I mean? It's a good look for the gamers. Now the Android phone thing I heard you talk about. Man, more and more people have been talking about the reach of the cellular market or the phone market. You know what I'm saying? Because worldwide, man, there's just billions of people with these devices in their hands every day, man. So anything that they can bring, anything that they could discuss, anything that might go into that realm, like bringing Stadia to more Android phones, for example, man, that's going to be phenomenal. I mean, and it's happening so quickly. I didn't even think it was going to happen as fast as it is with them just being able to integrate Stadia on these devices. I have an old ass look. I have two phones, but I will tell you, I have an old ass Galaxy S6, y'all. S6. At first, that didn't work with Stadia. Now this thing works with Stadia and it runs flawlessly.
It's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? And see, it's just a couple examples, and then like the lineup of games I heard you mention. I see that was written there. by 9 to 5 Google, who does a great job covering Stadia. Man, they break things like Stadia Source. They break things first, and I'm just like, wow, I can get off Crater and then go over and check out what they're doing. And other people as well that does that breaks this news first, man. I think it's just awesome. The lineup of games thing though, that right there, that is going to be a focus for Stadia because they know. We've already talked about it before. I see Chase in his Stadia Talk. Shout out. He's up in here and he knows that we've had several conversations about the fact that I felt that Google had to make a move to retain some of those users that they got from those free trials, those 1 month and 2 month pro trials and everything. So they're going to go out with a splash. And they have other months now. It's just not that July is not the only month that they have to go all out. They might say, hey, here it is in July, and then we're going to go in August and we're going to drop this, or September or whatever, all the way up until the rest of the end of the year, to tell you the truth, and then kicking into the next year. So, man, look, I can feel good things, MM. I can feel good things happening, bro. And whatever those things turn out to be, it is what it is. It's going to benefit all of us.
Do you have any particular predictions? What you expect to see?
I do. I expect. I think that. Okay, if I go out on a limb, I think that we're gonna hear some discussion about EA Access. Now, some people might not. I asked Clive. I saw Clive in here. You know what I mean? Shout out to Clive.
Yeah, shout out to Clive, man.
I asked him on Stadia Talk. You know what I mean? What his thoughts was on that, and I asked a couple more people as well. And I just feel that buzz generating, y'all. That I think it makes sense for Google and EA to at least announce that partnership or whatever, or announce that EA Access could be coming, because we know the Uplay Plus bug is out there in the air already. And whenever that comes, it comes. They've said in the fall, that might come in the fall, or it's supposed to be coming in the fall. But to be able to announce those things, to solidify and let people know that they are real, like they're coming, that would be huge. That's what people want. Sony and Microsoft, they do a great job at it. Nintendo does too. They give you a glimpse into the future. So that's what I'm expecting. I'm expecting a glimpse into the future. I'm expecting them to come out and say, hey, here's a brief look at what our first party studios are working on. You know what I mean? Splash damage here. Blah, blah, blah. For example, remember when we told y'all that a 1,000-player battle royale was possible? Well, here, take a look at this. I'm expecting at least one or two of those. Yeah, that would be dope, man. I would love EA Access too, baby Bob.
Here's something to think about, y'all. And again, everybody, if you got predictions too, drop them off in the chat, because we're about to get to you guys. I just want, and thank you guys for your patience. We just wanted to get our good brother Stadia Rev to chime in before he had to go. But here's something to think about. Like, I know there's a lot of people on the periphery, and we talked about this last night, Storm, and we didn't get a chance to really do the inaugural yet, because we wanted to get good brother Stadia Rev on here and get his thoughts. But we didn't do the inaugural, man. Like, congratulations being part of the PNTS network, man. We love to have you. You're a great addition, man. We appreciate it. And last night was your debut on one of the other, or I want to say one of the dining room of the PNTS network, which is CyberPunk's podcast. You know what I mean? Right. That was your debut there. We're kind of like talking to people on the periphery that really don't understand Stadia, that may have some inclinations about Stadia that are false, that may not normally watch the podcast. But I see the homie Dirk Griggity was watching. Big ups to him. I don't know if he's still connected, but shout out to him definitely. What do you think are some of the things that they need to do?
Well,
like a tsunami, you know what I mean?
All right. And what they need to do, because there's even members in our community right now that needs to be
wild over.
They need to be assured and wild and amazed. You know what I mean? And shout out to all of them. Got a lot of love for them. You know what I mean? So my thing is, that's what they need to do. They need, in order to get the new gamers, they have to show, here, these games will work at Stadia. Not only will they work at Stadia, they're going to work probably better than your best consoles right now, the most powerful console in the world with the Xbox One X right now. And when the fall comes, they're going to be able to go head to head performance wise with the $500, $600, $400 consoles that's coming too, and certain PCs. Now, That right there, if that's not enough to rope them in, they need to go ahead and capitalize on cross-play, y'all. They need to go ahead and focus more on that cross-progression and cross-play. That's a staple that Stadia has in its cap already. You know what I mean? That it could just throw out there more and more. Stadia, cross-play, cross-progression right here. This is what we do. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like I could see all of these different things coming, and then more features, y'all. Features. Drop all the features that we know are hidden, already being baked in, if not already baked into, you know, the Stadia API and all that good stuff, or the Stadia infrastructure. Release it. They've been dropping I love the platform, bro. I can't lie. I feel so much energy when I'm trying to help people understand Stadia, man. You know what I mean? Yeah. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's fun. Sometimes it can be frustrating sometimes for certain people, but it's fun because I get to break down facts about the platform and what I've been enjoying already. I'm not talking about the future because we don't know what the future holds, but people, y'all, you know what I mean? Stadia works. Stadia Kingdom in the chat right now. This dude is a big Nintendo Switch fan. Big shout out to the boy Chariot Man Gaming, the Stadia Kingdom. Love what the brother's doing, man. For example, he's over here and he's just as enthusiastic about Stadia, and this is a new platform. Other people in the chat right now, they're here listening to us talking right now about Stadia because they want to know what the hell our thoughts are, and we want to know what their thoughts are. So it's like this beautiful thing that's being formed. You know what I mean? Like, Creator's doing something. I think they're doing something. I don't know if it's now right now. If it's one with some of the Stadia content creators, for example, I saw that they're gonna be having a play along. So it's certain things happening, you know, that people might not understand yet, but it will come into the light real soon. That's what I'm thinking, man. So they're gonna focus on all that stuff. I think it's their baby. You know what I mean? They got to take care of it.
Before we go to the chat, Storm, I want to get your thoughts on this because I've seen this a little bit. And again, give us y'all predictions in the chat. We definitely want to see them. Jeff Keighley, man. I'm gonna keep it jiggy with you. We'll keep it real with you. We label mates now, so I gotta keep it real with you, Project Storm. I may have not told you the truth all the time, but I'm gonna tell you the truth today.
Okay, go ahead, man.
I don't like Jeff Keighley.
A lot of people don't. I knew you were gonna say that. A lot of people don't, man. He didn't rub me the wrong way, so I can't be mad at him. He didn't affect Project Storm. You know what I mean?
You know what? Wait. Crazy. You sound like Dirt. You know what I'm saying? Every time Dirt say that, I say, Dirt, shut up. Dirt Griggity says it all the time. He don't bother. You know why he bothers me, man? Because I remember him from the G4 days, and he was like the little, he was like the towel boy on the on the varsity basketball team. Like, I remember seeing him. I really didn't care because he really didn't bring anything to G4. He wasn't charismatic as far as I was concerned. And G4 was all about charisma. And for those of you that don't know what G4 was, that's where Adam Sessler, Webb, Olivia Munn, my homeboy Kevin Pereira, they did Attack of the Show. It was a great channel dedicated to gaming. You know, one of the first and only ones that really did that until they, you know, had to close shop. And Jeff was there. And he has a passion for gaming, don't get me wrong. And behind the scenes, he can work some good deals to get people together, but he doesn't have the charisma. And he's very biased in his point of view of gaming. Like, he's a PlayStation fanboy. And I'm not saying one fanboy is better than the other, but he doesn't hide that he's a fanboy, and it reflects in his show. And I don't think you don't get a robust show because of that, or you don't get robust output because of that. You know, you may have Nintendo there and all these other people there, but when you're biased, you put your focus on that particular bias, and you don't shine light on everything equally. And that's why I don't like his platform. However, the good thing to me about his partnership with YouTube is that you can tell he ain't for Stadia, but because of that partnership with YouTube, he ain't gonna let it all out the bag. So, I mean, is that how do you feel about him being a part of Jeff Keighley's thing, opposed to him being associated with IGN? Because IGN wasn't too great either, but then Ryan McCaffrey had that interview with Jack Buser and company, And that went off with what? That was one of the best interviews for Stadia today.
I liked it.
So I'm gonna shut up now. What are your thoughts on this? Him working with Jeff and all the other stuff.
Man, you know what? Again, it's something that I try not to. I don't like to get too deep into that because I care more about the games and what Stadia is doing, to tell you the truth. So, and I get what you're saying. That's something that I really didn't know. It's interesting when you brought up the bias or whatever that was surrounding Keeley and what he was doing before. But man, I don't put that much weight into it, to tell you the truth, man, because like I said, my focus is on these games, on y'all, on this community, you know what I'm saying, and where Stadia is about to go and where cloud gaming is about to go in general now. So all that individual stuff that they're doing, man, it doesn't matter because nobody's really going there at the end of the day to see what Keeley is talking about, or Keeley, whatever his name is, man. We're going up there to see what Stadia has cooking and what, you know, if you're an Xbox fan or whatever, you're going to be seeing what Microsoft and Sony fans, you know. So I don't know, MM. I can't even lie to you, but it'll be interesting to go back to that to get others' thoughts on it. You know what I mean? Because I do want to hear. I just never put that much research into what was going on with the dudes. You know.
Here's what I'm going to do, y'all, because my brother kept it real with me as much as I kept it real with him. You know what he told me? He said, "MM2K, you petty as hell. You let it go." He said, "You better let it go." Okay, no, I'm just no, Storm is no. I get it. I'm just joking around. Storm and Griggity, they're like, look, keep your eyes on the prize. And you know, if you really think about it, I answered my own question. I always got to take shots at Jeff whenever I can. That's just me. I am petty.
I feel you. You got bigger fish to fry, I think, man. You know
exactly. And that's what Dirt be telling me too, bro. Like, even though Jeff is real, he's real haterist towards Xbox. And you know, I got my issues with Xbox, but he, as someone that's supposed to be like the head of the VGA and all this, he don't even try to hide it. You know what I'm saying? Like, even in his presentation, he don't even try to hide it. And that irks me, even though I'm not the biggest fan of Xbox right now. So you and Dirt Storm be telling me, bro, I'm not even worried about it. It's all about the content that's being showcased. So,
well, see, you know, once they burn your bridge, man, it's hard for you to rebuild that thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I know there's nothing wrong with that because, you know, last night we touched on Digital Foundry, man. I know how you felt about them, but at the same time, I got respect for Rich, man. I got respect for what
I like Rich better. I definitely, Rich is that dude.
So I'm not really mad at them. They bring something to the table, even though it's controversial sometimes, and it's like a little bit skeptical and all that shit. It just don't make sense because they're focusing on 30 frames per second Spider-Man, and then they're talking about 60 frames per second 2 weeks ago is the ultimate, the holy grail, and stuff like that. I mean, but you got to pay attention to all those things. You know, you have to pay attention because see, they mislead a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? So I get where you're coming from. People can be misled by fanboyism and bias and all that stuff. So I don't know. I'm gonna leave it right there.
No, that's cool. That's cool, good brother. Let me do this because we're about to get into a very hot topic.
And I can't wait.
The chat. Hey, look, y'all better tweet this out. The chat is going to blow up on this topic because y'all thought I was petty before. Y'all really going to think I'm petty now. This is about to turn up a little bit. I told you I'm in my bag today. This was just a precursor. Anyway, let's go to the chat. So let me go to this screen. Because y'all tearing it up in the chat, man.
Yeah,
I appreciate all y'all. Love y'all, man. Stadia Kingdom, just by this comment right here. I'm freaking excited now. This is what gamers need. Absolutely, man. You ain't never lied, brother. Let's see here. Let's go to the homie Charles Duran. He says, in web, I say bundles. I mean the option to bundle ESO Plus, Uplay Plus, we access, and Stadia Pro. I got you. Yeah, that's what are your thoughts on that, Storm, about bundling the different possible subscription models in Stadia?
I think it can only benefit them, you know, to tell you the truth. They've already worked on certain like the DLC aspect and all that stuff. You know what I mean? That's kind of like, those are kind of like bundled, if you want to think of it that way, man. So it's not gonna hurt to bundle certain things. You know what I mean? I want to see them bundle that controller with the 2-month pass at Best Buy. You know what I mean? Just put that on the shelves and stuff like that, man. So I get where Charles is trying to come from, is you know, from a marketing and advertisement type of standpoint, that's gonna be highly beneficial to them. You know what I mean? So yeah, focus on it. Get it out there. Get your product, pump that thing, get it out there. You know what I'm saying? Because right now it seems like the community is doing a whole lot more marketing work at times. You know what I'm saying? And you know that, and that's not a negative thing. That's not a knock, but that's just how it comes off to certain people. That's all.
Well, no, that's absolutely what it is. And then I'm going to put a placeholder on that because of the discussion that we're going to have next thing too. But that's a great point that you brought up, that what you just said there, Storm. Definitely. Yeah. We got Stadia Kingdom in the house. Good brother, Stadia Kingdom, aka Chariot Man Gaming, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? My brother has it. Y'all got to right click on this brother's avatar, please.
Do it.
Join his channel. I remember the enthusiasm that Chariot Man had. And Dirt, if you still listening, you know, because we talked about it all off air. He was like, bruh, Chariot Man, love him some Stadia. It must be okay because nobody want to listen to me. Nobody want to listen to me. But he was like, man, it must be okay. I said, it is. And Chariot Man dropped this video that was like, wow, where he was playing it on a Switch. Was he playing it on the Switch? His was playing Stadia on the Switch, bruh.
Yo,
talented brother, another talented brother. Definitely check out his platform.
I try to stop by there as much as I can, man.
Absolutely. Stadia Kingdom. That's true. For those that may not be aware, Chariot Man and Stadia Kingdom, those, you know, it's the same good content creator right there. He says, my prediction is Capcom coming with some of their games. I don't know which ones. Also, Splash Damage revealing what they've been working on with Stadia. What are your thoughts on that, Storm?
All right. So I can tell you right now, Capcom, hey man, I heard Rev mention Capcom, man. Several gamers have been clamoring for Capcom to drop their to bless Stadia with those great games, that great IP that they have. Yeah. Man, those two, and Splash Damage, y'all. Like they've done a lot of work on like Gears of War and different multiplayer franchises, huge franchises, and like Wolfenstein series and all that stuff, man. They have the experience, so you can't help but get excited for that. You can't help but get excited for what these first-party studios that's already been announced, y'all. What if they announce a couple more at the Connect? What if they announce a few more? So when we start going, you can't help but go with possibilities, because this is something that we know that Google is going to do. It's not what they have to do. We know that we know that that's what they're going to do. You know what I mean? They're going to be talking, and so it gets to the point, man, where it's just a brain overload for me. I'm not even gonna lie to you, man, because, bro, I'm speechless, because they could go so many different directions, man. From just like the technological side to the software side to the acquisition side. You know, man, bro, I'm done. Y'all help me out. Help me out, man. Help me out, because I'm fried. For real, right now, I can't do it, man. I can't do it thinking about what they could do, bro. Because I'm already on board. So every little crumb they drop, bro, it's just more for me to eat. Seriously. Yeah.
It's again, speaking of Dirt, I don't want to make this. I'm turning this into Stadia Stream Connect to the Dirt Stream Connect. But you know,
hey man, do you think the Dirt one day will try that Stadia, man? Like that's all I'm asking. Do you think like just to try? Because I had some diehard Xbox fans and PlayStation fans and PC fans and Nintendo Switch fans. But you know what? They gave it a shot. And when they did, they were impressed, man. Can you see that happen?
Listen, you know what? No, Dirt's a traditionalist, meaning no, I don't know what his digital game ratio. What did he say last night? Because we had. Hey, look. By the way, you know, after this show, y'all definitely want to look up Scrampunk's podcast. We had a hell of a show last night. Yeah. Not for the faint of heart, man. I mean, we get a little raunchy there. Last night wasn't real raunchy.
It wasn't too bad.
Last night. We've had some raunchy nights, but you know, definitely check that show out, because we talk all things gaming, and then having my brother Project Storm there to solidify the Stadia side was a good feeling, man. So, but with that said, I don't know, Storm. What is Dirt? If Dirt is in the chat, let us know. But what did Dirt say was his ratio of digital to physical games?
I can't. You know what? I can't remember. I just know
Yeah.
that I remember a couple of the panels saying that they were already all digital, and some were kind of like physical and digital. That was a good discussion, by the way. That right there was a good discussion. I'm curious to know how many people in the chat have already gone all digital, y'all, because I thought it was just me until last night when we had that discussion. I'm talking about some people will swear by the disc and they will trade their disc in. Like some people won't, they will only buy physical sports games. Amen. They will only buy physical sports games. And I'm not mad at them because the sports games are something that you're just done with when the new iteration comes out. You know, like I'm not playing 2K19, 18, 16, 17. I'm not booting those things up because 20 is out, and I don't even want to go into the whole 2K thing, but I'm just using that as an example. Yeah, man. So I can understand why some people might go digital and some might have a ratio of like 40% physical and then 60 digital. And that was it was interesting. But me, I'm 100% digital for the reasons of for one, I'm lazy sometimes. I don't want to get up and pop a disc in the tray. Every console I've ever owned, the disc drive has failed. You get what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
You know, and the library, like I can throw these games right to my SSD. If I want to buy a bigger SSD than the one I have right now, I can install my top games like Destiny 2 and any kind of games that were like ESO or any game would pop in and things like that. And that SSD will help load these games faster. So I don't know, man. It's interesting. Digital. It's been digital for 4 years now. Damn.
Wow. Yeah. Hey, look. We're gonna talk about that, man. You got me adding stuff to the show notes. See,
man,
that's
what you do. Hey, look, man. You know, it's time to go up and down this chat real quick, man.
Yeah.
You know, because
let me hit Leah. Let me grab. We got Clive still in here. Big up to the homie Clive, man.
Brad said I'm all digital.
Clive too.
Digital all the way. Films, music, games, life is all in the cloud. That's what's up.
Stadia Rev says, I think the surprise will be Typhoon Studios will reveal an exclusive game. That right there would be cool. Me particularly, and I'm not saying you're wrong. This is because we don't know. These are all opinions. That could happen, and that's your prediction. I would say, because I'm hanging on to my 10-4 hot rev, that something like that is like a grab towards the casual consumer. That's to say, we're here. I don't think this Connect, we're going to get that we're here statement outside of something. I don't think we're going to get that we're here statement outside of possibly a reveal of Stadia Gen 2.0. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I will put that last on the list. I will put the 2.0 announcement last on the list.
Okay, gotcha.
Somebody, and I can't remember who it was. It might have been a couple people, but you know, it might have been Bill at one point who said, you know, I'd rather them not announce it and just roll it out. What's your take on that, real quick? If they didn't even announce it, just bumped it up, because you know we're always seeing what we think are improvements. And that's no lie, it's not fiction, man. You know what I mean? Here's
why I don't think that's a good idea. Only because look, how can I say?
You think they should go out with a bang? Any bang can help. Like the bigger the bang, the better.
Look, when you don't, okay. Let's just say you're on a war. What's not war path, but you're on a war field, right? And you got tanks coming, you got the big bombers coming, and then you got these little small clusters of people coming. Like, are you going to use your mortars for the small clusters of people, or are you going to use it for the tanks and the planes? Now, the reason why I bring it up like that, Storm, is I'm saying that the messaging behind Gen 2.0 is something that's for the masses. You can't stealth drop for the masses. The masses have to be prepared. Like the Dirk Griggity, even though he's a hardcore gamer, his mindset towards cloud gaming is suited more towards the masses. I don't know. I got my apprehensions. So the stealth drops are cool for us. The people that already have Stadia and the tech enthusiasts, it's cool for us. But for the regular gamer, they're the ones with the planners, the day planners. They write on the calendars. They like to know in advance, and they got a plan for this, because look at it. They're planning already to get PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X's. You can't just say, okay, today you're gonna get Stadia 2.0, even though it really all it means is that they can just pick up and play. That hasn't resonated with them yet. You got to prepare them for this. So that's why I say, even though it would be cool for us to stealth drop it, I think something as powerful as Gen 2.0 to be able to play games at the fidelity of PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X on your web browser, on the go, on your phone, to be able to do what xCloud wants to be able to do it instantaneously as soon as they flip that switch. Bro, that's a mortar round. You don't drop a mortar round on a cluster of 3 people. And when I say that, I mean the cluster of 3 people are us, the 5%. So, no, I think you got to prepare people for Gen 2.0, get it etched in their minds. This is real. This is real. This is real. I'm going to say this real quick, and because this is about you, Storm. I don't want to, talk too much.
Now, go ahead, man. For
full transparency, and me and Z, we laugh about this all the time because, my Triple B brethren, they laugh. They're like, oh, don't nobody care about Stadia. Stadia's dog-ish. Stadia.
Yeah, that's the cool thing to say right now.
And that's the cool thing to say. One of the biggest article on our website, and we get a lot of hits on that site. We get a lot of hits. So I'm not saying we ain't like IGN or nothing like that, but we get a lot of hits on that website. You know what I'm saying? But the biggest article on that website is the article that we had put up there in collaboration with the information that big out to Stadia Cast that they put out there about the developer that said Gen 2.0 ran his game better than the Xbox Series X. That blew up. It took 3 months. It took not 3 months. It took 2 months for all the articles, and we do sometimes 2 a day, for a single article to even come close to the numbers that article got.
Word. That's crazy.
So, and I'm saying that to say this, Storm, that people are interested. Even casual gamers are interested. I remember when I dropped that article, I had to fend off people on Twitter because, the naysayers, the vocal minority wanted to come out there and they wanted to hate on the article. Mm-hmm. But the reception that I got from that article was bananas. And secondly, people, the casual gamers interested, they want more information. You can't stealth drop something like this on them and have the impact that you want it to have. I digress now and I shut my mouth. Go ahead, Storm. What were you saying?
Yeah, I was I was laughing earlier at Spud in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Whenever we was talking about different people, Bill included, like their take on how they should handle that. And see, now I got where Bill was coming from. I'm not gonna act like that's what I'm thinking. Man, it's like, you know what? Turn it up and then it will wow people like, oh, this looks as good as the Series X and the PS5 at $500 or $600 or whatever. But when you don't announce that, because people want to know what Stadia is about, why Stadia, you know what I mean? So I can understand what Spud's saying, and I think that's the right way to go. Announce all your major announcements, bring them on out there,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, big ups to Spud. He's a great supporter of the platform, and again, we love all voices. And Spud being here, he's in here to be the counterbalance. He's like, MM2K, I hear what you're saying, bro, but I feel this way. I feel, right. and that's great. That is great for this. Here's what me and Spud do agree with this. Not making a big deal out of V2 is one of the worst things that can be done. And again, nothing against Bill. Bill, Stadia Cast is as far as the content and stuff they provide is fantastic. And a lot of the stuff that I report on, we get from Stadia Cast. They do a great job.
Right.
That said, everybody's entitled to their opinion, but I'm with Spud on this one. I just don't think that you stealth drop this. We got to look beyond our own prisms and what satisfies us. We got to understand that we are the 5%. We are the minority that don't think like sheep, that say, oh, this is great technology, let's hop on this. The other 95% ain't like that. They got to see everybody in front of them first before they go ahead. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And you got to make a big deal out of version 2. You got to. So I'm that's why I'm completely with Spot on that one.
Now, real quick before we transition. Now, look, Doom Eternal, y'all. Let's go back to Doom Eternal for 1 second. I finished the game. It's hard as hell. I'm telling you right now, if you tried the game and you just couldn't get past the first 3 levels, I ain't mad at you. If you broke your controller, I'm not mad. Believe me, if you cussed at your TV and your dog and your fish, you know what I mean? I'm not mad at you because that is a hard ass game. But it's also a game that runs so well. I remember at one point, now Zajic was in here. I don't know if Zajic's still around, you know what I mean? But I heard somewhere, and I think it came from Stadia or from Phil himself, Phil Harrison, or somebody that's on somewhere on Stadia's end. The game is running at 120 hertz or something like that. It was up to 120 FPS. I might be wrong, but I heard this somewhere. I know I'm not going crazy. That is somehow running at 120. Then by the time it hits us, it's like at 60 or something like that. I know I'm not going crazy. So if anybody knows what I'm talking about, help a brother out. But Doom Eternal felt like it was running at 120 FPS the whole damn time I was playing it, y'all. It was so smooth, blistering fast, buttery, no glitches, no hiccups at all, y'all. No glitches from a development aspect at all. That's one of the best games of the generation, and people are not even out there playing it, especially on Stadia.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah. And that's a testament, and it's a shame for Doom. I think this is what I think, Storm. I think if you didn't have the game delays that you had, it would be a completely different story for Stadia. Like if Doom would have released in 2019 the way that it was supposed to, if Cyberpunk 2077, we're going to talk about Cyberpunk because I got some revelations about Cyberpunk.
Yes, you do.
So if Cyberpunk would have released when it was supposed to release, and I think it's a lot earlier than some of us may perceive, including myself originally. If it would have released when it was supposed to release, if the Marvel game would have released when it was supposed to release, I think that as far as our conversations with Stadia, it would be a lot different. It would be a lot different. And I just think that they didn't take into considerations the delays, and that's on them because they're a big game company now. You got to think, you got to put on the big person pants, and you got to think right. They didn't take into consideration the delays, and it kind of messed up their lineup and the perception a little bit more than the launch. But that's okay. With all that said, Doom is a great game. It's not that Doom is a bad game, but you know what happened, bro? Division 2 dropped, and that is, oh my God, Division 2 dropped, and then you had other games that was piquing people's interest to where I think Doom just unfortunately got caught in the shuffle. Not only on Stadia, but maybe in other places too, because I saw early that it went on sale. So, no, Doom is a great title.
Game. Phenomenal. I'm talking about people are sleeping on it. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to push that video. I'm going to push that game. I mean, in the future, in the near future, I'm pushing Doom Eternal. I'm telling you, I'm going to make so many videos, people can't help but take notice. I'm telling you.
That's why pay attention to the channel, man. Pay attention to the brother's channel. Right click on his avatar, please join his channel. Project Storm be doing some crazy. Matter of fact, he's helping me out. I got to send my memory card my video card to get repaired. And I'm like, dang, how am I going to do these streams? And then because I got a 1050 as a backup, a 1070 as a backup. I'm like, dang, I'm trading. I'm going from a 2070 to a 1070 until I get my 2070 fixed. And then I saw Storm on here, and Storm is streaming 4K via Shadow. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. And check it out. Not only be a shadow, I got to let the people know now because some people think that he got Alakazam. Where you at, man? Where's Alakazam?
Alakazam is in here.
You know what I mean? Alakazam is not afraid to let people know that he spent over $5K on his PC.
Yeah.
But he feels that Stadia is giving him the same enjoyment. You know what I mean? Now, we know that PC players real quick. They go out and they spend, including myself, including you, including anybody in the chat with PCs. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You can build them yourself. You can get them built, pre-built, whatever. You know what I'm saying? In my case, it's pre-built. I never could have imagined that I would be able to stream in 4K. And now I got the capture card, 4K capture card. I threw it in the PC, 16 gigs of RAM, i5 9400F processor, y'all. You know what I mean? What else? GPU is only a GTX 1660. So that's what I'm using right now. To make these videos. So it doesn't take a whole lot, man. Just wanted to throw that out there, man. But now my internet connection, and I do have a gigabit up and down. That helps a lot. You know, but just wanted to throw that out there.
There's so many deals.
Some people like to share their secrets. But I'll tell you, like, if it's gonna help the next man make content, especially Stadia content, is out there.
It's all for a greater cause. I want to get your thoughts on this because, and then we can segue to the tinfoil hat section. That's going to get everybody riled up.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So Zajic, homie Zajic, big time supporter too. Love you, Zajic. He says, we know Square Enix has games to announce this month and next month. Also, they're not, this is interesting. They aren't doing their own show and they're absent from we're absent from PlayStation and Xbox shows so far. Interesting. What are your thoughts on that? That because they ain't doing their own stuff, they might show up with a bigger presence at the Connect than we may even imagine. What do you think?
Yeah, I could just hear the music right now. Dum 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 dum. Yo, Square Enix. I don't even think about the publishers, y'all. I don't even think about the publishers. All I think about is just surprise me. Just give me the game. Give me any pub. Yo, when PUBG dropped, can y'all imagine, man? I'm a huge PUBG fan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Had no idea it was going to be coming on April. What was that? April
I can't remember.
8th or something, whatever day it was in April anyway.
Yeah.
When they said that PUBG was on Stadia. First of all, I had friends who said it can never run. You see how the Xbox One X runs pub? It barely can run pub. I had a homie that used to always scream that out, and then the chat would like the party chat would laugh at me, man. Yeah, that's never gonna happen, bro. Like Stadia is some trash. It'll never run PUBG. It'll never be able to do this, man. PUBG has already had latency and lag. How can it run on Stadia?
Mm-hmm.
Yo, that game was announced at noon. By 12:04, I was already in my first video, and that video is on my channel right now at almost 7,000 views, y'all. People just stopped by, and they still stop by and leave comments or whatever, and likes and everything on that video. So, man, it is what it is. So if Apex drops, you give us the old games. Give us those old AAA games that nobody wants to play anymore, whatever. We'll gladly take those because it's going to bolster the library in a way that people are going to be play these games in a more convenient manner across multiple devices. Just give us all the games. That's cool. All the games they don't want, give it to us.
So, with that being said, man, like with the plethora of potential games that could be out there for the platform, and the fact that we can't forget. I keep hammering this on because repetition is the mother of learning. A great mentor of mine told me that Jack Buser admitted this, during the IGN thing. We've said it. Shout out to Stadia Cast. They coined the phrase. Bill was like, I coined the phrase. Yes, you did, good brother. You coined the phrase, which is this is the data collection phase. That even during the data collection phase, where outreach could be limited because the scope is limited at the moment, that you're still getting these great experiences. PUBG runs excellent on the platform, and testament of that was a simple fact that my brother Storm, who does a great work on his channel, and he gets good views. That video blew up for you, right? That video blew. I mean, you had all. It was like he was Google support right then and there on that video, his PUBG video when it released. You know what I'm saying?
Instantly, Sonny dropped one too around the same time frame, and his is doing well too. I can't even lie to you. I'm waiting on it to slow down, and it still keeps ticking up.
And it keeps creeping up. So it's stuff like that, and you're starting to see an uptick. And even when I drop videos, I dropped a video the other day. It was a long ass video. I didn't even expect people to watch it. I just felt like getting it off my chest. Why did I pick Stadia? You know what I'm saying? I expected maybe a few people to like it, but it's making some traction. And then I'm getting a lot of comments where people are like, I appreciate this. Thank you, this, that, and the other. Yes, this is what we need to hear. So you're starting to see a turnaround little by little to where I think at first Stadia may have stumbled on itself. They may have fell short of maybe some aspirations as far as saturation, but now they're seeing an uptick. And because of that, their scope may be limited, but they still got some great things to release in PUBG, which is a top 5 game, y'all. Don't doubt. Don't listen to the idiot herd. When
over
you go
400 million downloaded or played, whatever.
And it's number 3 now. Everybody want to talk about Master Chief Collection on Steam and Sea of Thieves. That's great, but guess what? Be like number 3 there. PUBG, and PUBG's play is paid for. It's not free. You know what I'm saying? It's not a free battle royal. It's not free to play. So PUBG is up there. Definitely it's still a top game out there. And the fact that you can play at 60 frames per second on Stadia, it looks as good as it does. And you ain't got to deal with the cheating, yet you still can, do crossplay with console. Can't beat it, man. Can't beat it.
Huge. I got to tell you right now, I'm going to be going in and out, man. It's Thursday, so the landscapers decided to come in. Whenever they goddamn, man, just, hey, MM, whenever they're ready, they just show up, man, which is cool. But I'd rather them get it out of the way, but I might be going in and out, man. So if I can't answer something, bear with me real quick.
But no, in relation to PUBG as well, we how can I say this? Well, as far as PUBG is concerned, what we notice is that people were saying, "Oh, there was bots. There's not a lot of people playing the game. This, that, and the other." And that's something that PUBG enacted to make games enact faster, and it's across the board like that. But not having games like PUBG where it performs better than console, or having games like Division where it's cross-play with PC and you ain't got to deal with the cheating. I mean, it's just a testament that this thing has multiple legs and it can do great. So, I think that was an all-around good discussion around the July Connect and games in general. Any last thoughts before we move on to the 10-4 hat section?
Just to throw out there real quick, just keep in mind about PUBG too. It was a game that was notorious at first for performance issues on console. The Xbox One X still struggles to run it at 30, a solid 30. Yeah. You know what I mean? There's blurriness all over. When you turn the camera, there's still the background almost disappears. It's so blurry sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Now it depends on your TV or if you're playing on a monitor with high refresh rates or whatever. But for the typical 60 hertz TV owners and everything, man, it's unacceptable from a performance standpoint. And then Stadia comes out here and immediately. Now I would love to know how long it took them to port that game. And if they ran into any kind of difficulties. I would love to hear those behind the scenes stories from these devs out here.
Two great comments from Clive. First and foremost, PUBG on Stadia is so much better than Xbox One and PlayStation 4. And again, that's not to slight them, but just to let you know, for $130, how much you're getting so much more in performance. And secondly, a follow-up to that, he says the bot issue on PUBG pretty much solved now. Hardly any bots. So, gotcha.
Yeah, and Clive knows he put the hours in. You know what I'm saying? Him and Peter's out there getting it in every other day. I'll be right up in there sometimes. I try to get there as many times as I can.
Am I pronouncing this right, Lord Kensai? You know, my Japanese is horrible.
Lord Kenso.
Kenso. Okay.
Kenzo.
My oldest son is fluent in Japanese, crazy, and he's a knucklehead at that. But I love my oldest son, but he's fluent in Japanese. So when he hear me, and I be watching anime, so when he hear me try to pronounce something, he just gets a good laugh. Like, Dad, shut up. That being said, okay, yeah, definitely check out Lord Kenso. Doing the PUBG streams, and you drop a link. Clive, you're a mod. You and Adam are mods here, so drop links to your channels, to the Generation X gaming club, all that stuff in here, man, because you guys, you have great content there on those platforms. So with that said, it's time. You ready, Storm? It's time, man. It's time. You ready, brother?
I'm ready, man. Oh no, go ahead. I'm ready. Let's do it.
Let's do it, man. Let me get all my links together. Cause look, here's the thing, y'all. Here's one thing I gotta admit. I'm gonna admit this to everybody. I haven't been diagnosed, but I think I got a touch of ADD because I'm all over the place. I belong to 85 different networks. I write for 3 websites. I got 7 streaming channels. Literally not those numbers, but y'all catch the drift. I know. Remember, with 6 was like, brother, I don't know how you do it. It's just that's how my mind works. I can't stand still. It's a thing. So as far as me having a touch of ADD, and I'm not making slight of that. I'm serious.
No, I know exactly what you mean. I know what you mean.
What I'm saying?
I think we all have a hand of it. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. True. And that's a whole other podcast. But my kids have been diagnosed. You know what I'm saying? So I think that I just have dealt with it. We cut from that era where we just deal with it. There was no pills or nobody to talk to. You just got to deal with it. Anyway, with that being said, I've been thinking, my ADD state of mind has been thinking, and I've been And what big ups to the homie Shake Kappa. I don't know if Shake is here right now, but he's a big time supporter. But he's like the homie Cold Blood Sensei. And I ain't seen Cold Blood. I don't know where the hell Cold. Maybe there's too many of y'all now. Cold Blood that got cold feet. You know what I'm saying? Pun intended. But the homie Cold Blood Sensei and Shake Capo, they are huge Stadia deniers. They come from my other MM2K channel, and they love to come and heckle y'all. And it's all out of fun and jest and all other stuff. With that being said, I was doing a Twitch stream the other day, and my brother Shake Capo was there. I was playing Division 2 on Stadia, and me and Shake was rapping, and Shake was like, MM2K, what's up with Stadia not getting a next-gen version of 2K21? And I said, Shake, that's not true. I said, next gen's version of Stadia hasn't been formally announced yet. So because it hasn't been formally announced, Stadia or Google really doesn't want people coming out there announcing anything out of order. You already had this issue with not PUBG, but Apex Legends. You know what I'm saying? And another game's leaked a video. I'm not going to get into that, and so forth and so forth. So I said it could just be that they're waiting on Gen 2 to be announced. So once Gen 2 is announced, then they'll come out. Then they'll add the Stadia portion. And me and him just went back and forth. And then we got on CyberPunk. And I said, CyberPunk? And it did. My ADD state of mind started flowing. Boop, 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 so it started going crazy. And I thought back to the whole debacle with CyberPunk 2077 and us being in a mind state and the belief that, hey, we're not getting the Stadia version on day and date. Now, I want to give a disclaimer. And my brother, Project Storm, he's going to chime in as soon as I'm done. So bear with me, y'all. I want to give a disclaimer. I am not saying that it's etched in stone that this thing is coming day and date. And I'm not even saying that it's a big deal now. I'm changing my ADD state of mind. I'm changing. I know that upon the latest revelations, I was hot. I was talking about playing on GFN. But now that I think about it, Stadia is such a great platform. If I only got to wait a month to play it on Stadia, I'll wait a month. But I want y'all to listen to me. And again, take this with a grain of salt. But I want to put this in the archives, the Stadia archives, in case that I'm right, because I've been wrong so many times.
Right.
I believe that CyberPunk 2077 is coming day and date to Stadia.
I do too. But I'm gonna let you go ahead. Go ahead and rap. I do too.
And you probably on the same wavelength as me. I gotta put you in here. This right here is the original announcement that our good friends at Stadia Source found when the game was supposed to release in September. All right. Now, let me do this. Okay. So let me highlight this portion right here. And I know y'all in the chat like, oh, I can hear, speaking of Alakazam, I can see Alakazam right now. Oh, here we go. Cyberpunk 2077 again. No, yeah, Alakazam. We've always assumed that Cyberpunk 2077 was releasing after the consoles because of this phrase. Cyberpunk 2077 will release September 17th, 2020 for PC, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4, with the version for Google Stadia to set launch the same year. Now, we've always perceived that statement to be they're not giving an official date because the Stadia version is just going to come out later. However, if you let me do something else. That's the statement for when it was dropping 2077 that got everybody in a frenzy, including your boy MM2K. I am no better than anybody in this. I fell for the okie doke too. Okay. Now I want y'all to look at this. Hold on one second. Let's pick up StadiaSource.com, by the way. Now, this is the new comment, the new statement after they pushed the date back to November 29th. November 19th. Let's read the statement. Cyberpunk 2077 will release November 19th, 2020 for PC, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4, and with the version of Google Stadia set to launch the same year.
Same year now.
Come on now. It's the same exact verbiage, except with a different date. Now, why else would the game now? If we go off of our former inclination that the reason why they're not giving a date is because it has to release after that, what difference does it make if it releases a month later? That's not doing anything really for anybody. Okay, especially in the holiday season, especially in November and December. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense, right? But I think what's going on, Storm, is that we're looking at the wording set to launch the same year, and we're thinking about Stadia 1.0, and we're assuming, they're not giving a date for Stadia 1.0 when there's a PlayStation 4, Xbox version, and another version. So therefore, it's coming after that. When the possibility could be, just like for 2K21, my good brothers and sisters out there, is that the reason why there's no mention of the Stadia date is because there's only going to be a Stadia 2.0 version. And if there's a Stadia 2.0 version, just like 2K21, you're not going to get any information on it. It's going to launch the same year. Now, I can understand our angst when it was supposed to launch in September. Oh, man, it ain't going to launch till November, December, whatever. But what is the purpose of it launching 30 days later or a month later? There's only like 30-something days left in the month after November 19th, maybe 41 days. They're going to launch it on December 30th? No. I fully believe that it's going to launch day and date like the other versions, like the PlayStation 5 version, just like the Xbox Series X version. But because Gen 2.0 hasn't been officially announced yet, they can't give you a date. And I think that's what the confusion was. Again, they said it's going to launch the same year. We've always assumed later, but the word later was never in the verbiage. It says the same year. And the reason why we assumed later, because again, we were just thinking about Gen 1.0. But if you add Gen 2.0 to the equation, and if that's the only gen that it's releasing for, then it's plausible that the same year could be day and date with the other ones. They just can't put a date out there because it's releasing for a version that hasn't been officially announced yet. That's my tinfoil hat theory, but I'm sticking to it. I want to get it on the record. Now I want to get my brother Project Storm started. Storm, am I on to something or am I on?
I think it's time to unleash the goddamn Kraken.
Release the Kraken, brother.
I think it is. I think it is. All right, here's some thing. I'm gonna put 1 and 1 together. That shit might equal 3. Sorry about the language, but look, man, you talk a CyberPunk release date now. You done woke me up, man. Check this out. I'm gonna tell you right now. 2 things come to mind. The CyberPunk last, the show that just dropped with all the dope gameplay that we saw and everything. The last thing that they just dropped last month or whatever that was, right? Okay, when they said that the PS4 version, it would be coming on the 19th. That's so this gen consoles, the games come to those consoles on the 19th, right? And I think the lady said shortly after that or whatever, it would be coming to the PS5. So we know that the PS5 is not launching on the 19th of November.
Exactly.
Right? So say it launched on the after Black Friday or right before whatever, or December 1st, something like that, whatever the case might be. PS5 is coming later, so the Series X might be coming a little later, but I get into that in a minute too. Now, I think when they say launch the same year, you're right, man. You're right to focus on that because we know that July 14th, the big Stadia Connect is coming, y'all. Now we know that Microsoft already, they got access to the rights or whatever, the marketing rights and all that from what I'm hearing. The buzz is that it might be releasing on Game Pass shortly after launch or something like that. So yeah, what I'm thinking is that lines Google up to make this announcement at this Connect. CyberPunk 2077 will be releasing day and date now. because of the delay. I think the delays has something to do with Stadia. I don't care what nobody says. I really think it does. I think it has to do with the next gen consoles and Stadia lining up together. Stadia Gen 2, that is.
Yeah.
Now, people might think I'm crazy, but I don't, and it's that simple, y'all. You got to pay attention to it. So I don't lose sleep at night because I just think that it will be. It's going to be in the window, like you said. It's going to be in the window. But why push the game back a month when you already had extra time now to be working on the Stadia version in the first place? You already had all these extra months now. So now you can get that game up to par because you got extra time. You already said that the console versions, the current gen console versions are finished already. So Stadia put that extra horsepower, the team on the Stadia version. That's all I'm saying. I mean, I think it's coming day and date, y'all. And I think that will be announced. It will be teased or something at this Connect.
Here's the thing. I know we thought it was plausible that the reason why it was coming later is that it's not that it wasn't ready. You know what I'm saying? It was because it would be ready, but when a marketing deal was forcing it to be pushed back. You know what I'm saying? And we had this tinfoil hat discussion when it came to why Doom Eternal wasn't true 4K as they said it would be, and that's possible that they're making them push it back a month. However, they're making them push it back a month for Stadia, so it could be December 19th for Stadia. That's a possibility, but in order for that to happen, you would have to believe that Xbox etched that into stone, and that's possible. With that being said, I know there was discussions that GFN had an exclusivity deal. GFN doesn't have that power to get marketing rights like that. They can't do that. They'll partner. They do this all the time. They partner with game developers as far as to help promote their products, but they don't have that power to have exclusivity deals as it comes to a platform that something appears on. Xbox would have that power. I just don't see where it was plausible where if they were to make it if they were to have a deal where they push it back like a few months, that would be impactful. But to push it back 30 days, that's not, especially when Stadia releases 2.0, and I believe it's coming this year, that version is going to be badass. You know what I'm saying? We already know that the Xbox enhanced version of CyberPunk ain't coming till 2021. You might get a version on the Xbox and the PlayStation 5 that runs slightly better than the predecessors, but the Stadia version is still going to run so much better. 30 days ain't going to help you. And even though I got my inclinations about Phil Spencer, Phil is smarter than that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's plausible that he said to Bethesda, hey, look, you make that thing native 4K, man, you going to mess something up. That's different. But for him to just say, you know what, in our exclusivity deal, it got to be pushed back 30 days. That doesn't help Xbox really at all. 3 months would. So that's why I'm saying I don't believe that when they say later, I mean, not late, they don't even use the word later. They say set to launch the same year when the game now was releasing in November. I don't think it's because of a marketing deal. If they're willing to say within the same year, they expect the game to be ready with the other versions. And the reason why they're just saying same year is because they can't give a specific date to Gen 2.0, just like 2K can't give a specific date to Gen 2.0. I want to get a final thought from you on that, Storm, before we move to the chat. Any other thoughts?
Nah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I was paying attention to what Dosage said. And Dosage feels that, because the game was confirmed to be built only on DirectX 12, you know what I mean? Unfortunately, it makes it unlikely unless they have a Vulkan version or hidden away already. Yeah, and that makes sense too. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because they said this year, so that means they already had a team of people working on the Stadia version. To me, now I don't know a damn thing about the process like that, but I think common sense though. I take a common sense approach, and they have to. We know the game was being worked on, so I don't know. But if it's coming before the end of the year, like many people have already said in the chat, hey, I'm good with it. I'm good with it. I can wait. I can wait it out and avoid spoilers and all that stuff.
Yeah, I think, and that's a great point. And all in all, I've changed my mind. I don't want to deal with the load screens. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to deal if I don't, and that's why I was so pissed at the whole revelation that it wasn't coming.
Right.
But
because we wanted to celebrate, MM. Can you imagine what kind of party you would have had, man?
Hey, look,
and still might have if it comes day and date.
Look, let's keep it jiggy. I wanted to save part of this discussion till later, but the hell with it. Let's do it now. And then we'll go to the chat. A lot of us want. Well, no, I'm gonna hold off on that. I will just say this because that's going to be a meaty part of our next discussion, which we'll just segue into that after we go to the chat. I will say this: that 80% of me just wants to play Cyberpunk 2077 ASAP. However, 20% of me wants to be able to showcase how well this performs to knock down the narrative that Stadia has had to deal with. I don't need other people to like this, but I want other gamers to see the truth, because the more gamers see the truth, the more data Google gets. The more data Google gets, the better the platform gets. The better the platform gets, the better it is for me. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I'm just going down the whole 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon, or if you want to call it the Netflix series Dark, I'm going through the whole dark timeline. You feel what I'm saying? Like I see how everything is interconnected. You feel me?
Oh man.
So
hey, listen, man. Go ahead, MM. I got one more thought, and then we can move right on. I promise, man. One more thought.
After your thought, I'm gonna go to Clive. Go ahead.
All right. So look, so you know all those times when we were in Division 2 and PUBG and all these other games, and we kept saying, "Damn." Again, I don't know what they're doing. They're doing something. What if they do they have the ability, y'all? Do y'all think anybody with that kind of knowledge would they have the ability? Because we know certain devs have the dev kits already. That's already been explained and put out there, right? So could they be tweaking behind the scenes and then later say make an announcement about their games? Like now, play Destiny 2 at 120 frames per second, for example, right? Do you think that could be a possibility, bro? Like that we've already been seeing them tweaking behind the scenes on the fly? Is that even possible?
Great minds must think alike, because Clive hits to that. He says on basis that the game is finished, they would have time to port from DirectX 12 to have caught up by now. So could be day and date. So basically, as I've seen, like in the Bungie Google workshop, as to port stuff over to Vulkan isn't a super hideous task. And you got to remember that this was a game announced before the platform even was released. So CD Projekt Red has been working with Vulkan and been programming on this for a very long time. And I believe they probably got a lot of money from Google, just like how Destiny got a lot of money from Google as well. So I think as integral as Bungie was to the 1.0 platform with all the development they did, I think it's actually CD Projekt Red who has been integral to 2.0. I think they've been working on 2.0 since the beginning. It's being tweaked. 2.0 is being tweaked because now we're playing on it and we're giving Google more data to help tweak it. And then as it got tweaked, as Stadia Cast reported, I think that's when then you started seeing people in addition to CD Projekt Red maybe being giving access to it, because you know how Stadia works, bro. They just do A/B testing. They switch people on and off, and now you get, because remember the Stadia Cast, the dev was like, hold on, our game is performing better, looks better. What the hell happened, right. Google?
And that's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying? So go ahead.
Oh, that's it. No, that's it. I was done with it.
So definitely, and Clive hit home with that. I want to hit this a couple of points before we move on.
Yeah, go ahead.
Charles Arana has a very great question. He says, but why is Cyberpunk 2077 date significant for Stadia? Here's why, and I want your thoughts too, Storm.
I love it.
Here's why. It was to be the showcase game for the platform. It was to say to everybody, look, you don't have to spend $500-$600 on a new card. You got a way to play Cyberpunk 2077 that's going to perform better than your console, the most powerful console in the world, and you ain't got to spend another $1,000 to play it well. Play it here, play it on Stadia, 60 frames per second, no loads, no patches, all that stuff. And that was going to bring the masses to the platform. And again, if the masses come to the platform for the biggest game of 2020, right? Next to, or not, I don't want to say, then it was going to be better for all of us. That's why it was so big. Go ahead, Storm.
Now, real quick, thank you, bro. Thank you. Hey, look. Let's keep in mind there's a game called Destiny 2 that had already shown us a glimpse. Now, we really didn't need Cyberpunk right away, to tell you the truth, because we had the Division 2 and Destiny 2 and other PUBG and other games that was already performing at a higher level than consoles, even the most powerful consoles in the world. I keep throwing it out there, but y'all, I'm an Xbox gamer too. I mean, I got Xbox content on my channel, and I will be pumping out a whole lot more, PlayStation as well. So I'm never gonna bash any of these systems, you know what I'm saying? But I will call it like it is, and I will have a little bit of fun. But man, so yeah, Cyberpunk would have been that huge title. It's the title of the generation right now. That's the hype level for it. But Destiny 2 and these games were no slouches and already showing from the get-go what Stadia was capable of. That's all. I'm gonna leave it right there, and we can move on if you want to.
Yep. No, that's a big thing, man. So I wanted to put that out there, y'all. Not to say, to Charles' point though, it's not significant now because the game's coming out in November, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I've seen this. This hurts me to say this. That first Nightwire didn't impress me. A lot of people may say, what are you talking about, MM2K? It didn't impress me. Like, I kind of like, I'm hearing stuff is being taken out of the game. I heard the investor call after it was delayed again, and how Morgan, the guy from Morgan, y'all got to listen to that investor call. That's why y'all got to listen to stuff behind the scenes. Clive told y'all got to listen to stuff from your own. Don't just read a blog post and then think you're knowledgeable or something. You got to go to the source. I listened to that investor call. It was like a 45-minute call, I think it was. And Morgan Stanley, which is a big investor in this game, they were pissed. There was a guy from Morgan Stanley on his like, hold on. The exact same reasons why you said you had to delay until September, that's the same bibble babble you're giving us now. It don't make any sense. Answer us. You know, like, they're hot. So I think there might be, and they're cutting stuff out of the game left and right. You can't, the wall climbing's gone. And that was one of the implementations that wowed me at the original showcasing. Like, a little bit of the luster's just been knocked off for me, just a little bit, to where I still think it's going to be a fantastic game. But if I got to play it on GFN and then I got to deal with it being knocked down just a small notch, and I got to deal with loads, but then I can play it on the Stadia version 30 days later, I'm going to wait for the Stadia version. I'm right
there too. I'm right there. You know now, if it was 3 to 6 months, I might not be able to wait. I might have to go GeForce Now or something to try. But then again, hey man, I don't want to go into GeForce Now, but bro, Stadia is superior performance-wise and resolution-wise to GeForce Now. I don't know. I keep hearing people. Hey, first of all, shout out to Marchief. God damn it, I'm trying to say Marchief and Ace together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Cloud Gaming Extreme, man. Marchief and Ace. All right. Yep. Those brothers over there doing big things, bringing that GeForce Now and that shadow content and all that good stuff, man. Yep. So, but I be looking, I'm like, damn, I can't get GeForce Now to look as good as Stadia. You know what I'm saying? I just can't do it. 1080p is soft for some reason. I don't know what it is, but hey, to each his own. All I'm saying is Stadia's out here outperforming it, so I can wait for Stadia.
Yep. Here's the thing. Rev brought up a good point, and I think we can move on. But this is a great point. I do have a different opinion there. He says they ain't going to release it elsewhere, then port it to Stadia. And I can't, now that I'm looking at the comment, he might have been referring to somebody else. I thought he was. He says that the game began development for Stadia midway through the cycle. The Stadia version is most likely ready to go now, like every other version. Okay, yeah. No, I totally agree with that. I'm sorry, Rev. I read that wrong. No, I totally agree. All right. With that said, great discussion, y'all. My 10-4 hat. Just want to put it out there in case the July Connect comes up and they're like, all right, Stadia 2.0 is coming. And Now we can officially announce the date for CyberPunk. I want to get a W somewhere, damn it. No, I just want to put it out there for everybody to ponder on in great discussions. All right, so let me see here. We were going to talk about Cloud Wars, but we can skip that part.
Right. Oh yeah, Dan, that would have been a good segue though. Hey,
yeah, that would have been But hey, bro, but you part of the family.
We kind of covered it. Yeah, we kind of.
You know what? As a matter of fact, I'm gonna tell y'all this, just to give y'all a precursor. That'll be what we'll do. Me and Storm, we're gonna be creating Patreon specific content. Okay, not sure when it's gonna go up, but if you want to be part of the PNTS Patreon to get access to this content, hold on, let me do this. PNTS Patreon.
While you're doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and touch on the fact that Shadow, y'all, Shadow, or Shadow Cloud PC or Shadow PC, yo, they are here. They're clowning Stadia. Now I don't know. Now did have it on the show note.
Yeah, I did.
I'll say this right here. I don't know why, but they're throwing shots. Anybody with Shadow knows what I'm talking about. Hey, plug your Stadia controller into Shadow PC, and when it registers, you tell me what you see. And if you don't know what you're gonna see, it's gonna be a clown. They have a clown face icon. Listen, bro, I gotta make a live stream. I was gonna make a stream just about it. Hey, look. So people talking about the competition is not there, and Stadia is not direct competition with Shadow and all that. Yeah, Shadow seems to think that. Yo, I gotta show y'all, man. It is a clown face icon. Hey, look, when you plug in the Xbox controller, the Xbox circle comes up with the X in the middle. When you plug in the PlayStation controller, the PlayStation logo comes up. You plug in the Stadia controller, a clown face with a smiley clown face comes up.
Wow, that's crazy.
No lie, man.
Yeah, they be taking shots.
I'm gonna show y'all today. I might make that just a brief clip. Like, what the hell is this? You know what I mean?
Yep. Let's do this real quick. Hold on. Let me go here. Okay. We're there. All right. It's already there on the screen. I forgot. So here's our Patreon, PNTS Network Patreon. We got different tiers. Okay. For a dollar tier will get you access to our general content, and it'll actually get you access to our Discord. Now, people may ask, why I got to pay $1 to get access to your Discord? I don't mind console war stuff. I don't mind the going back and forth. I've been in other Discords where I've seen people like ruin the experiences for other, like I've seen the PlayStation people hop into Xbox people's Discords and all this other stuff. And yes, that's what you got mods for. But to eliminate that, you know what I'm saying? We try to make an exclusive Discord, and then every now and again we'll give people free access. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why that we got our Discord behind the Patreon, is to keep people invested, just even with 99 cents, to where they'll help calm down the riffraff. You know what I'm saying? Now, with that said, we got additional what we call the war rooms. You know what I'm saying? We got a Nintendo war room. We got a PC war room where it's only for the Nintendo and the PC people to gather in and talk in. We got a Stadia Dosage war room, a PlayStation war room, and we also got a We Bleed Green war room. Now, right now, when we do Patreon content, all of our Patreon content is for any tier that you're in, but just for a maximum of $3, you can join any of our war rooms, join in the discussions and all that other stuff, and where the Stadia people can get together and talk and all of this stuff. So that's how our Patreon works right now. We're just trying to keep a control of like a lot of the riffraff that we see out there. Try to keep it as non-toxic as possible. We got some good mods, but again, they can't be at work all the time, because they got real life jobs or whatever. Yeah. And I don't want, look, I'm part of Discords where I've seen Discord hammer people, Storm, and say, you need to make this channel NSFW and all this other stuff. And I don't want none of that. Hold on 1 second, Storm.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, man. So I'm looking at the chat. Hey, Torres, I'm telling you, man, clown face. When I first saw it, and I've seen it for months, right? And I was just like, man, I got to do a video showing this right here. But man, I didn't think anything of it. I thought it was a glitch at first, y'all. Yep. But nah, sure enough, clown face, man, just mocking Stadia. Like, are you serious? Like, what they're saying is you're gonna play a cloud streaming service on our cloud streaming, or a cloud streaming platform on our cloud streaming service, is what they're trying to say. Yeah. or they just don't get down with Stadia. But I don't know why.
Yeah, it's
I be threatening.
yeah.
Everybody's threatened.
Threatening
about Stadia. Man.
Threatening about Stadia. That's crazy, bro. With that said, and they better be careful because okay, it's one thing to do the cloud, but I hope they don't like bog performance because if they're going to play that game, they're bucking against Alphabet Company, which owns Google, which pretty much owns the internet.
It does not work as well as Stadia, y'all. Nothing works as to the Stadia. Nothing, no cloud gaming service out there works as seamless and streamlined as Stadia. I'm telling you, and more consistently. How many I always ask this question, bro, and I'm not praying for it. I'm not wishing it on us. How much downtime have y'all really had? How much maintenance time? How much all that other stuff? You just don't see it over here. The reliability factor is very high. Now, I'm not talking about the hiccups and the occasional connection issues that people might have. I'm talking about Stadia as a platform. I have seen there hasn't been a time when I didn't want to jump on Stadia, log in, except maybe the time when they had to remove the whole monster. What's the name of that damn game that was exposed or whatever? You know what I'm saying? Monster.
Oh, yeah.
No, is it? What's the name of it?
God.
Damn it, yeah, Gods and Monsters. Except that's the only time that there was a little hiccup where you couldn't sign into what was that the store or was that Stadia?
No, that was Stadia. Period. They shut down the whole platform because they had to remove.
And that was a matter of a couple minutes, y'all.
Yeah,
a few minutes, and then it was right back up.
Yep.
The only time.
Yep, but that's the Patreon, and again, I know I got questions about the Discord, but the Discord, we got some great people in there, and that's how that works. So if you wanted, what me and Storm we're going to do is the whole Cloud Wars section. We're going to put that in for the Patreon members, and just for $1 and a dream, you know what I'm saying? You guys can get access to that first. And then if you're interested, if you want to be exclusive to our war rooms, Stadia Dosage, know that Stadia Dosage does have a war room. You can join that and get access to the Stadia room. You know what I mean? To where, we're going to be running exclusive games there and stuff like that. So yeah, more to come on that, but just for $1 and a dream, you can be part of the Patreon and you'll be able to hear this discussion that me and Storm is going to have. So that's what we'll do, Storm. We'll do that because we was talking about what content to do. And also there's going to be an interview that I'm just going to do with Storm too. That'll be in there too. We'll figure out what we'll do with that. But we're going to work Storm to the bone, baby. We're working it to the bone.
I'm out here ready to do it. Like I had to get in the lab and learn all the ins and outs first, deal with the tech. Hey, you got to, the technical issues be unpredictable, MM. Now, somebody should have told me about that with the streaming thing, man. You know what I'm saying? First, I was just streaming just to record my content and have it in a vault for my son one day and his son, or you know what I'm saying? But man, then I started saying, hold on, wait a minute. There might be something in here for the people. You know what I mean? I can get out here and see how many people like the same thing, my hobby, the games I like to play and all that. So that's why I really jumped in, man. So all of that is going to be great. It's going to be giving back. I even hit MM up like, man, how can I give? How can I give back? You know what I'm saying? Like already, like that's the main thing I want to do. Y'all know I'm always thinking of ideas to integrate this chat and give back to the chat, y'all. For the people that's showing up all the time, I see you. I know who you are. You know what I'm saying? Got your names written down. Believe me, I will be thinking of something. I'll be talking to the brother MM about what I can do. You know what I'm saying? To give back. And that's the bottom line.
And that's the basis of the community as well. That's why this community is so great, and there's so many great content creators, and you just don't have to stick with one. You know what I'm saying? With that being said, Storm, man, this brother be working hard, bringing you that tech. I'll be watching, and I have a Pixel. I have the 3XL, so not the 3A XL, but the older model, the one where you don't have the phone jack in it, and it's cool. With that being said, I'll be watching. It can go up to 1440p on that phone.
Yeah.
So I'll be sitting there watching Storm's streams, and I'll be like, "Oh my sweet Jesus, sweet baby Rays! Oh my God!" And I'll be like, "No, hey, bro, it's time. We gotta put this on the platform. People gotta see this." And Storm just be tinkering, y'all. But this is the type of car. But that's what social media is about. When people are tinkering or just doing ad hoc stuff, we nerds, we're interested in that stuff, man. So
Yeah. And not even, hey, look, and I just got to spread the love, y'all, because everybody knows what I'm talking about. Clive, I've seen Clive tinkering that. Rock, hey, yo, Rock, Rev. Rev was like, man, I'm trying to just get everything right. And that's the beauty of this whole thing, y'all. So for everybody that's out there, if you're aspiring to do this thing, you know what I'm saying, jump in. Hey, great mentor, and he knows it. He knows I'm not just trying to flatter him or whatever. You know what I mean? Him, Sixfold, so many people out here, man, that have shown me the ropes. Like I was up here, y'all, when I first got my capture card, for example. I'm like, yeah, I'm doing it. I'm doing it right now. 12,000. I got my bit rate set to 12,000. says, hey, Storm, man. Yeah, let me holler at you, man. Let me get you. Hey, come on in the lab real quick, bro. Let me get you off them streets and get you right, man. And that's real rap. Am I lying?
No,
you know
not yet. Yeah.
So y'all, so it's deeper than just like us just getting out here and just running out miles or whatever, man. It's a real brotherhood out here and sisterhood or whatever, man. And that's the beauty. That's the beauty of the whole thing. So I just want to throw that out there because I can go on and on and on. Like I said, I'm thinking of something special that I'm gonna be dropping this summer for all of y'all. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So we're coming down on the 10-minute mark, and I definitely want to get people's thoughts on just everything in general. Go to the chat. So some of the stuff that I'm cutting out, Storm, we'll get to in our special Patreon.
Nah, that's cool. That's cool.
Let's do this. All right. So let's head on over to the games. Let's talk about game news, and then after we talk about a couple of things in the game news, then we're going to get to you guys' questions. All right. So let's go here. All right. So we talked about this earlier. Celeste is coming to the platform. Good golly, Miss Molly. Big deal. What are your thoughts on this overall, Storm, about Celeste?
All right. Celeste is another game that if Torres doesn't like it and Guinness doesn't like it and Bibbidi Bop might not like it, but Spud, you know what, Spud and Jairus and Stadia Kingdom, they might like it. You know what I mean? So those are games we need. Now, I really don't like to use the term filler content, but I get why people say it. You know what I mean? I get why people say it because you're adding to that library. You're filling that library up. So, but filler content gives it more of a less of a significance to Stadia. And MM, I'm not gonna lie, I have a new perspective because of Crater. I keep telling y'all, man, because of Crater, I put that time in and I was out here trying to figure things out. And now, so now I appreciate the majority, 99% of these developers and what they're doing, if not higher than that. So I just want to say it's a game. If you think you like what you're seeing on the screen, don't go by reviews. Because if I went by reviews, I would have missed Guilt. And I would have missed those beautiful leather couches and chairs in Guilt. Torres knows what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? So that's just, I just wanted to throw it out there, y'all. Just be your own judge,
This out real quick.
So game might not be for you right now. It might not be for you right now, but it might be something that might be a pro title, might be free or something one day or something.
Let me tell you something. Rev, when he hit on this note, he was absolutely right. Like we can't just. Well, it's not that you can do what you want, but you're better served when you got a diverse portfolio. It's like investing in stocks. If you got your eggs all in one basket, when that basket crashes, you ain't gonna know where else to go.
Right.
And if all you know how to do is play AAA, what are you gonna do when we run into a rough spot where the AAAs are all bombs and they're all stinkers?
Far and few in between or whatever.
Far and few in between. We just run into a situation where all the big name AAAs are at a lull because they're all in development. They're quite not ready yet. You know what I'm saying? So what are you going to do if that's all you know how to play and your appetite is only fed by them? That's where I think Stadia is doing a lot of good is making people, because they're trimming the fat. They're all the games that they're getting, whether you could call them filler if you want to. Most of these games are all award-winning games. They've taken some risk with games like Stacks on Stacks on Stacks and Get Packed because they're newer games, but they're different types of games, and you guys can't be mad at that. Again, they're trimming the fat on a lot of this stuff that's out there on these other platforms, and they're giving you award-winning stuff. So I think the filler content, I know I've used that when I'm talking about PlayStation and Xbox, but when it comes to Stadia, I don't even think it applies because, again, it's not filler, award-winning stuff. That's all that you're getting. And when you think about it, the game, if you look at the PlayStation 4's lineup at launch and look at our lineup at launch within the first 7 months, you have the same number of AAAs. You got the same number of indies, and our games are rated better They're rated better. You look at the Metacritic, you're rated better. Now you can say, well, there's no exclusive. It doesn't matter. It don't matter where a good game comes from. A good game is a good game. So the caliber of games that we're getting at launch of Stadia outweighed the caliber of games that people were getting at the PlayStation 4 launch, period, bar none. So y'all just use words wisely or use phrases wisely. I don't think the filler applies here. Again, award-winning games, we have around the same number of games. I think PlayStation was like close to 70. I think we're at like 60, 65. So, just do your homework. But yeah, I think it's a great thing that this game is being added. All right. So to continue on, Storm, we got the Ubisoft thing coming, man. Let me drop that. Let me drop that in here, man.
Oh yeah.
We got Ubisoft coming.
And as Red would say, man, Stadia and Ubisoft have been doing a thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna leave it at that. You know what I'm saying? I know that made Rev laugh right there. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, they doing a thing. And I want to hear your thoughts on it real quick, man.
Big ups to 706 Gamer. Yo, what's going on, brother? My thoughts are this is look, I kind of gave Ubisoft a lot of heck for for the Division 2 release. I was hot, but they chin checked me. They've been the best supporter of this platform, and even Digital Foundry had to eat crow and admit it that the Division 2 on Stadia is the de facto way to play. They said, we wish that there was a performance mode like how it is on Stadia, on the Xbox, on the PlayStation. And then you can play with PC people and you don't have the cheating that you have on PC. It was like, this is the de facto way to play the Division. No better way to play it. So with that said, Ubisoft is very critical to the success. I want to see Uplay Plus coming. Those are my thoughts. What are your thoughts, Storm?
Same thing, man. Uplay Plus, like I said, whenever it comes, it can come in the fall, but just talk about it. Let us know, reassure us that it's going to be there. Ubisoft, they make some of the best games out. I have a homie who was just talking about getting Ghost Recon. Not even thinking about the reviews or whatever, but just saying now that he's on Stadia, because he was one of those naysayers, and now he's like, "Yo, man, I just got the formula, the F1 racing. That game is lit." And Sonny and everybody else has been saying the same thing, man. Gen S, you know what I mean? So these games, it's something about playing the games over here that's just magical, y'all. You hear the word all the time, people using like all those superlatives and all that stuff, man, and adjectives trying to describe Stadia and their experience with it. It's crazy. So Ubisoft, for them to is it Ubisoft or Ubisoft? Because I damn sure want to say both sometimes, man. It's Ubisoft, right?
Ubisoft. Or I say
they have Uplay Plus.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say Ubisoft. Goddamn it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yo, so Ubisoft is out here, and they seem to have mastered the platform already. You know what I mean? And it's a beautiful thing. I hope more developers and publishers take heed.
And last but not least, I'm gonna go to Stadia Source for this one. The number one source for your Stadia news. We're gonna go to Stadia Source for this one. Stadia Source reported they didn't report on Borderlands 2, but let me see. Ember Eats update out now on Stadia. So the Ember game has an Ember Eats. That's a fun little title. So definitely check that out. But what are your thoughts on Hello Neighbor? Getting ESRB rated. Do you think that it's going to come soon like Celeste? And Borderlands 2, the Game of the Year edition, also has been ESRB rated. Do you think that they're going to be coming soon, Storm? And also, do you think they're going to be Stadia Pro games?
I think they will be coming soon. Those are games that I think should be easy to be ported on over or whatever, because I know that was a game that was on, I believe it was on the Xbox or something already. And I wish Red was still in here. I wish Red was in the discussion right now live, man, because a lot of people, and I want to hear your take on it too, man, because you're going to have those people out here that's going to be like, look, this is what Stadia is getting around at that 120 or 120 plus. This is what y'all getting over here. You know what I'm saying? You can sense, and people in the chat, I'm sure, I guarantee that somebody in this chat thought the same thing. You get what I'm saying? So with that being said, what is your advice? What do you say to those people that's out here mocking the library of games that we're seeing pop up back to back that are not AAA bangers.
Well, I'll put it to you like this: outside of PlayStation, nobody has any AAA bangers right now. And then when you say AAA bangers, we're talking about Last of Us 2.
Last of Us 2, yeah.
Yeah, like nobody else is releasing any no exclusive AAA bangers out there. So I mean, y'all can mock the library all you want. Look, here's the thing. I've said this for months that Stadia is not a premier platform. Doesn't mean it's not good. Doesn't mean that it doesn't have things that are way better than console right now, and even PC, because you ain't got to worry about the Bobex or the Cobex, and the streaming and all that and the cheating. But the premier experience includes a plethora of games. And right now, with them coming at the tail end of a generation, there was no way they were going to go pound for pound for games for platforms that have been out for 7 years, or even a Switch at like 3 years. There was no way they were going to do that. That's just absurd.
Yeah, and check this out. I don't play games on my phone, y'all, because I like bigger screens. That's the only reason. I don't like to, strain my eyes or for hours playing on my phone. I will experiment with a game like Celeste or Ember on my phone if I'm out somewhere. You know what I mean? I could use my my data or whatever. I could see myself doing something like that. I really can. So those games have a place for sure.
Yep. But the lineup, I think, for a launch, again, when PlayStation 4 launched in 7 months, they had about 70 games. Stadia right now is around 65. They're six games short of the console that had the big, one of the best generations of all time. And that launch lineup was not the caliber of lineup that we have here. Granted, if you're bumping it up against what's available on other platforms, that's fine, but that's an unfair comparison. This thing just launched. I'm comparing it to on an equal playing field. When you look at Xbox, when you look at PlayStation in its first 7 months, the caliber of games that we have on Stadia outweigh the caliber of games that they had on those platforms. Yeah. Period.
Hey, bro, can you do something for the people, man? Because sure. Hey, we done talked about dirt like how many times a day, man? The brother must be lurking around somewhere. But check this out. Yesterday he got on us, right? Because he was like, "What time is it?" I felt some type of way, man, because he was like, "Yo, what time?"
Yeah, he tried to make us look stupid.
Event? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
what time?
He tried to make us look dumb. Yeah.
And I had to go and look it up, man. But that Stadia Connect that you're looking at on screen right now is going to be at 1 o'clock EDT. Yep. You know what I mean? So if you're in different time zones, just do the math on that and just see what they got, see what they're gonna have cooking. I'll be up in there bright and early. You know what I mean? But I'm sure we'll have a lot of pre-game shows that I might be stopping by too.
Cool. All right, y'all. Excellent. Now it's time for Q&A. Real quick, we'll give a few moments because I think Stadia Source is dropping something probably now, and then we got our good friends over at Sounds of Stadia. But we're here to answer your questions now. Give us your questions, man. Let's see here. Let's go to the homie Maul Spud. Maul says, I don't think of it as filler, talking about, the games lineup. I think of it as these devs getting introduced to a platform they could develop unique games for. I think that's a great take.
Absolutely.
A great take.
Yeah, because we might not see, there's so many different cases like these developers who come in with indie titles and then they get offered opportunities to join Google and other publishers or whatever, Stadia and whoever else, Activision, whatever.
Yep.
So
the Guinness says every single game is good for Stadia. We have more and more games, but still liking more AAA games. Oh no, absolutely, yeah. I mean, I'm a AAA hawk. I love AAA games, but again, Stadia's, Monster Boy. It's making my appreciation for the quote unquote smaller titles even more. And again, you can trust Stadia smaller titles opposed to even going to Game Pass where there might be the quote unquote filler, because they just want volume. But Stadia is trimming the fat right now in the early access period. All of its small games, except for maybe a couple. All of these indie games are award-winning games. What are your thoughts on that, Storm?
Yeah, and I was definitely shocked to know that West of Loathing, because I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I'm gonna always keep it real. I ain't really know about West of Loathing, but when I got on the game, it was something magical. The game moves flawlessly. I'm talking about flawless controls, the music, the everything, the storyline, all of that. Just it just grabbed me, and that's a game that I would have said, man, get this damn game out of my face like a few months ago. I'm telling y'all. So yeah, you can't judge a book by the cover.
Exactly. You got to play the game. And again, they're award winning. So Stadia's trimming the fat. We got Christopher Torres. He says, yeah, definitely. I like Monster Boy. That was a good game. Celeste, I have to see some reviews. But hey, as you said, these games for those who like that play style. Absolutely. Let me see who else. What else we got up here?
Let's see. I'm looking up here too.
If you notice something, Storm, definitely let me know.
Oh, Rev right here. Capcom has a survey about Resident Evil Village. This is your chance to request it for Stadia.
Oh,
it's big. If people want the game, there you go.
Oh, yep. Here it goes. He says Capcom has a survey. This is your hey, Rev. Can you drop that in the chat? Drop that in the chat.
You know what I'm saying? And he also said, Rev also came in down the bottom and said Sony bought a minority stake in Epic.
Yep. I did see that Sony bought a minority stake in Epic. We could talk about that too. In the quote, we'll call it the after show. We'll talk about that. Here goes this dude. Oh my God, King Thrash Gaming. Hey, brother, no. He said, my question is, where is my invite? Thrash. First and foremost, you got to congratulate our brother Project Storm for becoming part of PNTS Network. We had to put him on there. Secondly, I got to work on. I thought I was coming to your show first, or you want to come to mine? We can make this happen. As a matter of fact, now see that ADD is working in my brain. I got an idea. Thrash, I'm gonna reach out to you. I got an idea now. We're gonna make this happen. I told you, brother, I had a guest list that I had to clear up because I was telling people months, we're gonna do a show. And then Storm, congratulations to Storm. Storm is aboard. And then look, we got something else brewing too. I can't because the other people involved don't even know about it yet themselves. But we got something else brewing. But I got an idea, Thrash. I want to run it by you. So keep the phone lines open. Definitely, my homie King Thrash, and right click on his avatar and join his channel too. He got some great stuff. He got some great stuff at the round table, definitely. And then Jared says, maybe Stadia will have 120 frames per second on some games in early 2021. I believe so. I think they might be even coming 2020. Look, brother, I'm gonna say this, Storm, and you answer it if you're still here. I was playing Borderlands. Now Chase tells me that I was popping pills or something. He says, brother, you was high as a kite or something was going on. You was out of your mind. But I swear that one day I was playing Borderlands. And they must have did some A/B testing, and it was moving at like 100 frames plus per second. I know because I do a lot of PC gaming, too. So I think that 120 frames per second could be coming in 2020. What are your thoughts on that?
I definitely think, like I said earlier, they might be experimenting with that already. But I can tell you now, and look, it hurts my heart to be able to say it. I have to say it, y'all. Borderlands, and I've heard this gossip. For me, I get stutters sometimes. And it takes me out of the game. So I was hoping that they would go ahead and fix that on up. For me, now, I don't know. So if you're getting these smooth 60 to 100 and 120 FPS, if you're getting that experience, then I need to know what my problem is. Because I'm talking about CCU, Chrome browser, whatever. So I don't know. And I heard that other people had that issue. It's like a hiccup every now and then it irons itself out as you continue to play the game after like 10 or 15 minutes. So
it's a CCU thing because I've never had it on the but I did have it on the CCU one time.
And I didn't try it since I switched CCUs. I need to do that. I haven't booted it up.
Ask you a question.
My CCU.
So when you play Borderlands CCU, are you doing it at 4K or 1080?
4K, bro.
That's what I had to hiccup too. For something about Stadia, I mean not Stadia, something about Borderlands.
Right.
4K on the CCU causes hiccups. I remember that. But I play 99.9% of the time on 1080. But yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, like I say, there's something that they can just iron out just like that. Boom. Release the patch. Like Doom has been doing a great job of that. They're already on update 2. And first of all, the game worked well without the updates. Then it worked even better with update 1. Now it's just mind blowing with update 2, y'all. Again, I know what I'm doing later on this evening, man. I'm telling you right now. Pumping out some more Doom. I'm running back through Doom just from like a performance stance.
Hey, look, that's a great game.
Just different parts of it.
That's a great game, and definitely check out Storm when he does that, man. It's definitely a great game. So y'all definitely want to check that out. Hey, look, couple questions left. Bippity Bop says, "I swear it was a few times." See, Bippity Bop, I know I'm not high on drugs. I know I ain't high. I don't do that. I don't do that. I swear it was a few times I was playing Destiny 2 and it was 120 frames per second a few times. Yeah, it's the A/B testing. Don't hit a switch. Lloyd of Stadia Cast talked about this. They'll hit a switch, test some things out, collect some data, turn it back off. And I've had a couple of occasions to where I know my Borderlands 3 gameplay was like 100 frames, something like that. And last but not least, my homie Christopher Torres had a great comment. I want to get your thoughts. He said, "Yeah, Division 2 was a dope game, man. Still playing, trying to beat the manhunts. Ubisoft makes some serious games." Absolutely. What are your thoughts on that, Storm?
Yeah, man. Top flight publisher, man. You know what I mean? I can't even lie. Like, they're out here doing big things. You know, the dev team over there. I've been playing their games since Ghost Recon back in the day, Rainbow back in the day, the early ones, the first one. So, you know, hopefully they'll just continue to trend and inspire other developers to jump on and do the same types of things, man.
Good, you know? Definitely. So, hey, look, man, that's it for the show, y'all. Thank y'all so much, because I don't want to spill over too much in this Sounds of Stadia and Stadia Source. But thank you so much, Brother Storm, for coming on, man. Thank you for becoming part of the family, man. We're going to do an after-hour show that's going to be available via the Patreon. So if you want access to this, you know what I'm saying, or early access to it, I'm dropping a link to the Patreon right now. Join. All you got to do is join the $1 tier. We'll put it up again for y'all. All you got to do is join the $1 tier. The $1 tier will give you access to this after show. We're going to be talking about the Cloud Wars. And then we're also going to be talking about some other stuff, whatever Storm wants to go over, because he's definitely a wealth of knowledge. Yeah. And then if you want to, too, you can join some of our other channels for more content. But definitely just $1 to dream will get you there. But with that said, I want to thank everybody.
And let me ask you real quick, man. What's the language rules? You know what I'm saying? What's the language?
No, the language. No. Hey, look, man, this is the thing. With Discord, the NSFW comes when people feel like they're getting abused. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
And I've seen Discords where people will be like, "Oh, I'm sorry," you let them back in, and then they do it again, and "Oh, I'm sorry," you let them back. No, if you're invested, you know what I'm saying, you're less likely to do that. Okay. And then it comes a point to where if you abuse it too much, we just say, you know what, you can keep your full quarters. We ain't letting you back in.
That's always wanted to know, man. I just know.
Yeah, but no. It's we're adults here. It's an adult platform for adults. It's just that we try to keep down on the Xbox people heckling the PlayStation people. That's why we got these separate war rooms. But again, we just don't want people abusing. You know what I'm saying? And just getting over the top, getting too toxic. You know what I'm saying? So.
Got it.
But definitely, no. This ain't Mary Poppins Discord. You know what I'm saying? That's
all right, man. Because I'll be ready to let. I know I let loose myself sometimes.
Oh, no. Yeah, you can let loose. Definitely.
All right.
So with that said, hey Storm, before we go, where can they find you, good brother?
All right, you can find me on, of course, you right here on YouTube at youtube.com/Project Storm, and over on Twitter. And I'm thinking about reaching out to some other platforms, y'all. So stay tuned for that. But you can find me over there at the Nephophiliac. All right. Nephophiliac means lover of clouds. I'm proud of myself for coming up with that, though, man, because I was on my cloud gaming my movement. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, what can I do? So I started looking up words and terms and everything. And that's where it comes from, in case anybody was wondering.
Hey, big ups to the homie Rav. He says he's joining. Thanks, appreciate it.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, definitely join it. And hey, look, guys, Storm, great content creator. We got a lot of great content coming. So definitely we got the after show coming, and then me and Storm and some other people, we're going to collab on some things. We'll definitely, make it worth your while. But with that said, you can definitely check me here, YouTube, MM2K videos also at YouTube, and then on Twitch at the Hard Knock Digital Culture, HNDC.live, or at twitch.tv/MightyMost2000. Check me with Broadband Bullies, PNTS Network, the whole 9 yards. We got a Stadia Corner article coming out tomorrow. Hopefully you guys will enjoy it. And with that said, we appreciate everybody for coming through. Everybody in the chat, y'all make this great. Hey, Happy Cloud Gamer, what is going on, brother? What's going on, man?
Yo, y'all could have been anywhere else, man. I appreciate y'all for rocking with us that long. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
I appreciate it. It was always beautiful.
Definitely. And with that said, thank y'all so much. You all have a wonderful, wonderful gaming day. Peace.
Peace.